Hello, everyone, and welcome to
Whoa!
Shenanigoons, a crazy industrial. What do we call it?
Industrial
Industrial
fantasy
fantasy,
D&D where
industrial
you add to the chaos.
D&D 5e, where you can add.
I'm gonna write you a
chaos to the
script.
stuff.
It'll be fine.
That'd be great. Yeah, I would really like to have a script or something. I don't know.
Hello, Autumn.
Hello, Autumn. It's good to see you. I don't know where everyone else is, but that's okay. We're gonna get started anyway. So, this is Shenanigoons, that crazy.
Welcome to Shenanigans. We love that you've subscribed. Here at Shenanigans, no one was bribed. Mayhem, magic, mystery, that's usually the vibe. Oh, thank you, you're awesome, 'cause you subscribed.
How do you
good.
do-
I can't pick a favorite.
How do you do the in Twitch chat like an action? So it's your name and the action. How do you do that? Is it /me?
Autumn is the one that
I think
knows
it's
how to do that.
/E.
/me.
Because I think we should all
Slash
just be
me.
like grooves and just put that in chat when this happens. I should have waited till tonight to do mine. I did mine during final rites this morning
Yep.
or this afternoon.
So much better. So much better here. Hello, whoever just joined us. We saw you.
Hello.
You came in. You're here. We know you're here.
Welcome, welcome.
We're doing our intro thingy where we talk about our sponsors and stuff.
Yay!
We get that out of the way at the front. That way we can just game the rest of the time. So let's talk quickly about, God, I haven't done this in like 2 weeks. World Anvil, the most robust world building and campaign management software that exists on the internet today. I know, I've tried them all. They are the just premier world building suite. And not only are they designed for the DM, they are also designed for the players with their new Heroes system, which approaches campaign management from the side of the players and allows the players to add to the action. So you can go take a look at that. Sign up for a free account to give it a try. And when you are ready to take the plunge and make something amazing, you can sign up to be a member of their guild. So go over to worldanvil.com right now and light up the forge.
Right now.
Next, we'd
Go
like to
do
talk about Die Hard Dice. Die Hard Dice. You know what? If you haven't seen the Die Hard Dice they put out today, go take a look at them. That's all you're going to need to know. They are basically vampire dice. It is gold with red and black. They're gorgeous. Honestly, red and black,
I
from a
need
design
them.
standpoint, it has to be done so well. I've done 12 years of graphic design. Red and black, two colors you should only mix in the most perfect of circumstances, and they nailed
Like
it.
with Mike and Heather, the
Like,
most
yes,
Exactly.
always red and black. Red and black in wait, hold on. Red and black in clothing is very different than in design. Red and black in clothing can work very well. But in design, red and black is very difficult to put together, and they are absolutely beautiful. So go take a look, and you can go pick yours up for 15% off by using the coupon code GOONIES, GOONIES, at checkout on dieharddice.com. And as a matter of fact, you get that 50% off of your first or next order for everything you order. You can order the entire shop. You can order twice the entire shop. Do whatever you want. Go crazy. You deserve it. Go to dieharddice.com because if you want to roll with the best, you roll with Die Hard Dice. Lastly, we'd like to thank nerdsmith.org for being our amazing network. We've been a member of Nerdsmith since the beginning because we run it. I mean, we're the directors,
Yeah,
so we're kind of
that's the
biased.
reason.
So, but yeah, nerdsmith.org is an amazing place where we get together with a bunch of creators. And actually, I haven't had a chance to announce all our amazing new creators. Actually, I did. I was the first. I forgot. We just added a new podcast called The Crit Show, which is a Monster of the Week. Actually, now it is a Dungeon World, still built on the Apocalypse system. Same company as Monster of the Week, but it is that's the system they run. It's an amazing actual play podcast with the DM Rev and all the amazing players. We also just added another Twitch channel, the Ukador channel, UKODOR. You can go over to twitch.tv/Ukador. Follow them. They play in person. It's a homebrew world. They got a beautiful studio. We got to talk with Chris today, and while he was setting up the new studio, and got to watch him do it. It
Lots
was really
of
amazing.
PVC
Yeah.
and shower
It is,
curtains and
bubblegum-
LED lights.
Yeah, it was bubblegum, duct tape, and hope. But
Yep.
also knowledge.
But he's
and
got a lot of hope and
yeah,
grit.
a lot of professional knowledge and stuff. that went into that. So
Did you
we'll take a
say
look
the
at Ugador.
Pope?
Yes, the
Pope.
fantasy Pope was there, and he
Was
was
he on a
blessing
rope?
their studio.
With soap?
He did. He had soap on a rope, and then he rope-a-doped.
That's dope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Moving on.
can't
So
cope.
go check a look at
Look,
Ugador.
can I say the thing I didn't get to say when we were
Sure.
talking about Die Hard Dice? You should definitely check out their new red and black, their bloodbath die, because they have a D4, D12, D6, D20. Thank you, Mike.
Nicely done.
Point.
Alrighty.
2 points.
So
to
we'll check
Gryffindor.
them all out. This is Shenanigans, where you can add to the chaos. How do you do that? You might ask. There's two ways. You just want to send us a few little bits here and there, or just some love that way. You can do that, and every bit is a copper in the pocket of the players. They will find it laying around wherever they are, and no NPC will question if it is theirs or not. They could be in a dragon's hoard, and the copper could be sitting on top of a table, and they'll just snatch it up and take it. So you can see that above. There's a little bar up there. It has no numbers on it and means absolutely nothing to anyone, including me, because it was a very bad design. So, but it's there, and we have this bar, and it's kind of cool.
Do
So you
we
can see
want
that
to
up there.
do something new?
Maybe
We
in
will
red
do
and black.
something new when I have the time to do something new, but I
Okay.
just don't have the time to do anything new. And right now,
Sure.
it's a mystery. That's like the Winchester Mystery Bar, where you can get awesome drinks like. I don't know. I lost it. My entire joke went out the window there. Anyway, that's what that
It was
is.
a good attempt. It was a
Then
good attempt.
down to the bottom, my left stage left, or audience right, you can see the tip us and tip the scales. And there's a few things you can do down here. For $10 donation through the donation link down at the bottom, you can gift a reroll. That's going to be a reroll given to any character. They can use that at any time on any roll they want. Number two, $15, you can get the Wheel of Causality, which has some amazing randomness on it that takes effects immediately, works in combat or not. You can choose any PC or NPC for that. $25, you can introduce an NPC. You give me their name, what they look like, and a little information about why they're coming in the scene if you want, and we will see what happens. The most famous of which was Brindlehooves, the unicorn who keeps making an appearance, who did not fit into the doors on a train. And lastly, for $50, you can grant one player a time stop. This is a life-changing, godlike moment that they can step out of time, accomplish one amazing, unique thing, and basically alter the world in any way that they wish. That kind of fits within the confines of what their character might be able to accomplish. So we can do that. So those are all the amazing things you can do down there. So if you want to do that, just use the donate link down at the bottom. Lastly, that's it, I think. So I think without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Oh, because how dare we talk about something that's not appropriate?
How dare we talk? We're supposed to be watching the video like everyone else.
We're back! Yay!
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah.
are back. Well, hello,
We
everyone.
are.
So,
That's why I said places.
Last we met our adventurers, they had just jumped off of the cruise ship Gigantic, the largest galleon that had ever been created, along with I think it was just you that jumped off, but you met a few wonderful people on the ship. Who was the favorite person you met aboard the ship?
I was a big fan of Captain Smithy.
Captain Smithy was nice. I liked him.
The emerald wasn't too.
The emerald around the neck of one of the NPCs. All right.
Dak was interesting.
Dak was interesting.
Yeah,
What do you
Dak
like about
was
Dak?
interesting.
Reminded me of I don't know, someone who might stop fires or something. A little bit. That's who I thought it was at first.
He's a real go-getter. You know, aiming high, for better or
I just realized who you thought that was at first, and now I'm
I have no idea, so I'm still lost.
a fire starter of sorts.
Oh, got it.
It wasn't even an illusion. I directly said his
I
name.
know.
I missed it. All right. So, does anybody remember where Tulip with the emerald was traveling to?
The island Jewel, or was that her name? I can't remember.
She was. That's what they called
Yes.
her. She was headed to the island that the ship was going to. Hold on, I'm looking in my notes.
I believe the emerald was called the Island Jewel, and then
Oh, I
it
thought she-
denotes the
No,
the
and
royalty.
she was the.
Okay, the person with the island jewel speaks for the island. I did equate
That's
it
what
as
it was.
being like being called that too.
Yes.
But
Also, I'd like to ask. I may have misspoken a little bit. Does anybody else believe that there is a kraken in the water with you? Okay.
there
Just
were
test it.
water tentacles.
Water
No,
tentacles,
yeah, it
yes.
sounded like water
Tendrils of
tentacles.
water that wrapped around the ship, leaving a pocket of air and pulled it down. Several of these swimming creatures, these fish-like creatures, jumped through the water and into the air and landed on the deck of the ship as it was going down. So yes, that is what you said. Just want to make sure that nobody else.
I
popped up and
misheard. I heard tentacles and didn't hear water tentacles. I just heard tentacles, so I was like, "Oh God,
Tentacles,
we're
but yeah.
gonna die."
Tendrils of water. It's very. Final
So
Fantasy
I don't
VIII.
have an actual name for the island. I don't know that you gave us a name for the island
that's
we're
fine.
headed to. My notes just say that it was headed to a small island that is very wealthy and ritzy,
All right. What?
and we have to jump off the ship about halfway
What?
there.
I don't remember if the island itself was wealthy. They had some sort of wealth there, but I don't know if the whole island is just like an island of rich people. And that's how that kind of comes across when you say it like that. So, but they do have some sort of resource that we talked about that might be valuable. We didn't quite come up with that. So why don't we right now, before we get back into the game, come up with those two things. So what is the name of the island that she is from?
Mashnar's booth.
No, don't think so.
No.
Don't think that one's gonna fly.
So
Ironic
strange.
because there's nothing but Aarakocra on that.
Right?
The Aegis Islands.
No.
Aegis, like spelled like shield.
Yeah.
Aegis.
Aegis.
No. Okay.
Oh, AEIGS.
Mm-hmm.
A-E.
Is that right?
A-E-G-I-S.
AEGIS.
Yes.
Aegis, right?
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying.
All right. The Aegis Island. All right. So, what is this major resource that they have? And we're not going to do emeralds because that's too obvious. So, what is this major resource that they have on this island that makes it a fairly wealthy place for the most part?
They got really good at developing water-powered energy devices and ways of harnessing current power.
So,
into-
engineering.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Why not? Maybe they're responsible for some technology that created this boat. I like that. It's
They
perfect.
created the water pick.
Oh. Everyone there has really nice.
But it's actually just a thing that when you hit the water, it freezes it and chips off pieces of it now, and everyone has it in their drinks now.
4 out of 5 bartenders recommend it.
And the fifth one is crazy. Yeah. The fifth one's a broom.
Mop.
No, he always approves everything. Yeah. Do you like it? Yeah. I'm tired. Not as tired as Heather, though, so I'll still draw. All right, so that's good. So you are all in the water. You guys have just jumped off, having found your way down to a lower sort of this kind of hidden deck down the lower part of the ship, only about 10 feet above the water, which would have been fine had somebody not swan dived off of it and belly flopped. But the rest of you did just fine getting into the water there. Once you're inside the water, I believe you took the potions right before that, except for Bonnie, who doesn't need it. And you have you're in the water, and the ship was trailing away from you about 30 feet. I believe Arthur's about 150 feet behind you as you're kind of swimming towards Arthur. And you look back, you hear this horrible sort of water rushing sound, and you look over and you see all of these creatures, these fish-like creatures, fishy humanoids kind of swarming over. This is the fish on top, like humanoids, swarming over around the ship, and then these water tendrils come reaching up over, creating kind of this bubble pocket of air, and then they start to leap down as the entire ship is pulled under the ocean. So that's that. So you're a little far away to be able to really do anything. Probably a couple thousand feet at this point, maybe more, and you're slowed down because, well, did you guys do water walking? I don't think so, because you guys would just be bouncing on the top. You wouldn't be able to actually swim.
No.
Yeah.
And the water is not have visibility to be able to see. So as it starts to disappear, you swim that way. I would assume at some point it just kind of vanishes into the depths. What do you do?
You guys, did someone actually just kidnap an entire cruise ship?
I think so.
That's ballsy, right?
Brindlehooves got away, though.
Good.
Good old Brindlehooves.
So he's stranded in the
Always
ocean?
rely on him.
He has
That
a
is
few.
possibly not the better circumstance.
I tossed a few pocket candy at his.
Oh.
Maybe one of them will teleport him back on the boat.
So-
Arthur tries to light a torch. Just kidding.
All right.
So
where are we going? Down?
well, that's what they told us to do, was go down to basically towards the bottom of the ocean. But what about the ship?
We'll deal with it
Well,
later.
we go down there, we tell them what happened, maybe they can.
Maybe.
All right.
Well,
Right
it's
now, what
supposed
are
to
we
come
gonna
back.
do? Just twiddle our thumbs.
It's supposed to come back and pick us up. So let's just go according to plan, and it'll be back in a few days. We'll be fine.
You just will it into the universe, and it'll work.
It's the secret.
It may have been part of the trip.
Sure.
Like, that's a feature.
I doubt it.
Maybe it's an adventure cruise. We should go.
The-
We should get going.
The Poseidon Adventure Cruise.
Ooh.
Mm.
That's one. That's one.
Yeah.
So
Adelaide's like,
we talked a little bit about this last time. I want to kind of reiterate, because I've solidified how I want this to work. So as you go under the water, continue to try to learn to accept the idea of taking in breath underwater. Water does kind of push up against your lips, but it never passes it. When you breathe in, it just feels like you're taking a normal breath. You don't ever feel pressure against your body. You speak normally, and the people around you seem to be able to hear you normally.
maybe we're sharing.
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe. Arthur better not burp then.
Who didn't brush their teeth this morning?
Not me, because I don't need to breathe
what-
under here.
What it almost feels like is that the water itself is kind of just bubbling right there. And you actually feel like you might be transmuting the water into air. And as you push it back out, it's water again. You don't blow bubbles. There's no bubbles trailing around you. You are breathing water as much as possible. but it's not like you've grown lungs. So it seems like it's more transmutation based than anything.
That's cool. I like that.
Adelaide spends an inordinate amount of time thinking about that exact thing. And she tries to snap in the water.
You can hear it.
Which does. Oh, okay, great. Then she will snap her octopus
Okay.
from the ether. And he's just
Okay. Does your octopus float in air?
I assumed it was separate from my spellcasting or from my person. My familiar.
Oh no.
It's just
Well, it's a familiar octopus, but like when you summon it in the real world, can it fly around, or does it like just lay on the ground because it
it's
can't
real.
move because it's out of water?
We're in the ocean right now.
Right now we are. I want to know what it's like in the real world.
She can change
The
its
ocean's
shape
not a part
every
of the
time
real
she
world.
summons it, though, can't she?
No, I think it's
Not
in the
every time I have to
original
spend an
Undertale.
hour. I have to recast the spell.
So
So
you
it costs money.
dismissed your old one and now created an octopus.
When we were on the boat last episode, I said she spent
That
the
was what it
night
was. I didn't
recasting.
remember if it was an octopus before or not. So no.
It was
Then the
just
octopus is
before
just
we
like a normal octopus, very happy. Doesn't seem to be affected by any of it. What kind of octopus is it?
It's like a speckly one. It's one of the ones that has like all the little. There's like it naturally
Sure.
polka
Like one of
dotted
the ones that
looking.
kind of camouflage themselves and
Yeah,
stuff.
and it has the normal like very unnerving demonic red eyes that the parrot did too.
Yeah. The reddish ones, yeah, but they can kind of camouflage themselves.
Have you guys ever actually seen an octopus like swim underwater with like all their tentacles swirling around?
They're
moving
adorable.
around?
They're adorable, and I love them.
You also find that you can sort of naturally sink. It doesn't go very fast. You can swim down much faster, but you can kind of just sort of naturally sink to the bottom if you want. You have to kind of tread water if you want to stay towards the top. It kind of becomes active, but you get to the point where, because of your learning and because of what you're doing here, your movement is very unhindered. Very similar to what Bonnie is capable of. You can just move. Wait, does water breathing supposed to give you normal movement? I know it gives you normal weapon attacks, but I don't know if it gives you normal movement. Oh, when you're on the bottom, that's what it is. So after you've hit the bottom, which is, a few hundred feet down, you seem to be able to walk along the bottom normally. It's as if you are not being affected by the water's buoyancy, but then you can kind of like kick off and swim up as much as you want. Once you're swimming, though, it's just like you're normally swimming. That's what it was.
Bonnie is doing somersaults in the water and just happily just doing all sorts of, sea elf shenanigans in the water.
Yeah. Now, who has dark vision?
I do.
We know this
Those
very
of you
well
that-
now because we've had to do this so often.
Those of you that do not have dark vision cannot see.
Is it pitch black?
It is pretty much pitch black.
So does my devil's sight work?
Yes, you
Okay.
can see perfectly. As a matter of fact, you can see farther than the people with dark vision. Because even the people with dark vision can only see about half of their normal vision. But you, Arthur, can see your full 60 feet with your devil's sight.
Someone remind me to learn something that makes me see.
Right.
So I can cast light, but I don't know if we actually want to make ourselves a bright, shiny target as we float down through the ocean. Thoughts?
I would suggest not.
Your light is only going to make you. It's only going to go about 30 to 40 feet. So it's not going
Right.
to go much farther.
No, but it would still be better than nothing for the people who don't have dark vision. I assume that like
Well, I agree.
Bonnie's holding at Merrick's hand or something, and Val is probably like
Does
got an arm out
does
to
my
help
octopus
Adelaide.
see in the dark?
Your octopus
Just like a
sees
little
just
floaty?
fine down here. Like just clings to your face, scared. Like I can't see. Oh, are you saying you're using a seeing eye octopus?
Kinda.
Got it. Okay.
Wanted to give up one of its tentacles to just
You were
slowly.
to hold on to like drag you around this way. Gosh,
No,
watch out for the
Val,
coral.
At some point, that will clearly not be an effective way
Then
of
we'll lose that coral.
moving. So she'll work on.
About 3 seconds. That's how much is not an effective way
It's
of.
like, Val, just tie your sash around your waist. I'll hold onto it and you can swim.
All
Did you
right,
just bring me
we
a
could just
colorful
use
cuddle thing?
rope.
It's an octopus.
That is a adorable octopus.
an octopus. I think
I
they're poison.
think that's Photoshop.
No. Google spotted
No,
out.
that's a real octopus.
The blue ring.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm not sure it's a deep sea octopus though. Usually colors don't. I don't care. I'm not. I'm
She
just saying
didn't
I don't think-
specify that hers was a deep sea octopus.
But you are going
might I
deep
also
sea,
specify it's fucking magic.
Nah, no, we gotta have physics and reality here because it's gonna matter. No, like I said, I don't care because it's fucking magic.
You're just gonna
Um,
squeeze the octopus into a tiny cube size. Pressure's too great.
I don't want to tell everyone how lobster meat is removed from lobsters, so we'll move on.
There's no lobster in this scene. We're gonna move on.
Yeah,
Talk
yeah,
about
we are.
pressure being too great.
Nope,
Oh,
stop.
Feral?
so-
Where?
Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So Bonnie is swimming along and quite happily. I love to cuddle.
That's why, yeah, that's why God gave it 8 arms, so it can cuddle really well.
I forgot I named my familiar Winford.
I didn't.
Oh, wait,
That's right.
third.
You named it after your brother.
Something happens to him. He's always been a
Mom, Dad, I let Winford die. What?
octopus. It was a big whole thing.
I would suggest not doing the light. If it could attract large predators to have suddenly a bright shiny beacon.
That is true.
That's why I
wanna
asked
be very
first.
clear that means American Adelaide will not be able to see. Completely blind. So
What else?
At some point, Val.
So you can forget that extra feet, Adelaide.
At some point, Val will tie a rope or something to herself and give Adelaide the other end.
I
now,
can
you're now you're a party balloon.
I can swim with Merrick easily if he wants to just basically grab onto the straps of my backpack.
It's like,
Sure, that'll
like
work.
He could grab on
movies
any.
when the dolphin grabs like a loop and starts pulling a boat or somebody behind it.
Pretty much.
My audio went weird and I did not hear the word movies.
So, who has food on them that is not in a magical bag?
Oh, yeah, I probably have rations on me. And
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
got rations.
Most of us don't have bags of holding. I don't think any of us have a bag of holding.
No, I don't think none of us have a bag of holding.
I absolutely
Shit.
stuffed
I have a question.
my pack
Yes,
with as
Adelaide?
much of the buffet food as I.
Adelaide would have tested this.
Okay.
Could I take a book and make a cutout? Would it go into the book bag?
Yeah.
Like if I hide. Yeah, she's definitely
think
got
so.
shit in books. She definitely gave the system.
Are you really willing to take books and cut out pages of them?
Right?
Like dictionary, sure.
All right.
Like a
Yeah,
crappy book. I went to a
I don't have a
Goodwill and I
problem.
picked out a bunch of crappy books.
We can say you have
and-
one book right now that does that because you were testing it and you just thought about it right now. So you can have one book that's got a small pocket in it that you would have cut a few pages out that you could have like stuffed I don't know what you would have stuffed into, but yeah. So you've got one book that's got something in it that's like that. But yeah, I got no problems with that because a holdout book is still a book. That's good, Angela.
Gamed-
Get
I gamed
inspiration for
book.
that. That was really good.
Well, there's a traditional
Ooh.
thing that gets snuck into books, but that's not what Adelaide would be putting into that book.
I knew a man who snuck a rock hammer into a book once.
So- Shaw. Okay, moving on.
You know him.
That's one.
Anyway, yeah, I
So,
probably
you guys
wouldn't have been
reached
rations.
the bottom. Yeah, no, definitely would have been rations. So, you guys make your way down to the bottom. And there you are. You're at the bottom of this this watery
Oh, I'm
area.
sorry. To be more
Not sure
realistic.
that Adelaide or Merrick know yet. Is Merrick tied off too, I assume?
Merrick is holding on to me
Okay, got it.
since I can see and swim very.
So you're starting to notice that that those of you in the light and Arthur, you start to see there's like all these little tiny little moving things in the water, maybe just a few here and there, like almost like flies just kind of buzzing around. And they're kind of moving towards the towards your bags and things. Arthur, since you can see pretty much perfectly under the water, they're kind of pinkish.
They fish.
They look like itty bitty tiny shrimp, like really tiny shrimp, like fly-sized shrimp.
Are they bothering anybody?
There's more and more coming, and they seem to be moving towards around your bags and things.
Are they
Probably
getting
2 or 3
in this
dozen.
stuff?
I would say yeah. I don't think your bags are designed to be sealed completely, so you would guess they're probably getting in your bag at this point.
And this is where all the food that we brought with us comes into play.
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
Well, but I
Yeah,
mean,
and
anything you brought with you is now soaked. I mean, there's nothing that isn't completely soaked at this point.
I'll start kind of like I would a fly, kind of swatting them.
Sure.
Right.
And as you kind of do that, they kind of swirl around the water a little bit, and then they kind of move away.
So they said that we'd be at least fairly close to the city, but I don't see anything down here that even slightly looks like we should head in a particular direction. Arthur, sorry. Arthur, can you see any further?
I can see about 60 feet. Nothing yet. There's some flies. They're
Just
fly
to double
fish.
check, your range is 60 feet with your side, right?
Mhm.
Not 120, right?
Oh, actually, it's probably 120. Checking now.
That's gonna be very important.
120 feet of awesomeness.
Yeah, you can literally see 120 feet. It's like you're just piercing directly through your agreement with your whatever, your sandwich god. You are literally, I think it's Swayuna, but you are literally piercing through not only the
Swayuna.
darkness here, but all of everything blocking your vision. You can see thousands of these little it's a cloud of these little tiny shrimp. The only thing that's blocking your view are these things, and they're all moving almost like a swarm. But having looked at them up close, you're pretty sure they're harmless, other than maybe nibbling on your food.
So these things may be harmless to us, but things that eat these with large mouths may be of concern.
As you say
Yeah.
that, they all kind of like almost like a flock of starlings turn and start swimming past you. As a matter of fact, you all feel them brushing past you, and Val and Bonnie, your world turns pink for a moment.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, that's an odd sensation.
Nope,
oh,
nope,
one hit my
nope.
eye.
Nope.
You see her mouth.
Just crunch.
Swallow.
No, don't eat raw shrimp. That's bad for you.
Coming
Oh, that's just the worst.
into your field of view, Arthur, is a large mouth. One of the largest you've ever seen, ever. And while you're thinking, okay, this might as well happen, you're looking at it and you're like, okay, sure. You're thinking whale, you're thinking something like that. For some reason, this feels different. These teeth are sharp. The skin is kind of a grayish. The belly is sort of white.
I dodge. I run.
Underwater.
You
Well,
I
swim.
tell everybody
Just the
else to
swimming
run.
man.
That's the swimming man.
I don't like it.
Nope.
You say roll.
I did say roll initiative.
Oh no. Oh
I'm
no.
gonna not to ask for homework, but
Arthur, do you say anything to alert everyone that they should be alert?
Run.
Then yes, roll initiative. If you are blind, I believe you're at disadvantage, or am I wrong on that? I don't know if it affects ability checks.
it doesn't really matter. I rolled low on the
All right.
first roll anyway, so
I rolled an 11 for whoever's keeping track.
I'm gonna put it in our
I-
chat.
Oh, you go for it. Perfect.
What did everybody else get?
Natural
9.
20.
I got a 19.
What chat are we putting?
Our Zoom one, just to make it easy.
Okay. I don't have that open, but I will now. Oh God, there's 5 things in here. All right. Okay.
Merrick, what did you get?
It's in the chat. 14.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
For the purposes of podcasting, though, please say your numbers out loud. Though next time, it's fine. We can see all.
Oh yes, we got the podcast. Hello, podcast.
Push to laugh.
Podcast listeners,
Oh,
how
so-
are you? Yeah.
Have we?
This isn't
been-
right.
I was
We're
gonna say,
fighting
have
a
we been
clownfish.
No, this it just
A
has all
clown
the
shark.
electrical.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we've got Bonnie with a 23 from a nat 20, Baby Shark at 19, Merrick at 14, Arthur at 11, Adelaide has a 9, and Val rolled crap, so she's at 7.
Baby shark.
Way to build her up.
I'll say it later. Never mind. I have a ways to wait.
All
And then she
right.
drinks from a goblet.
So, Bonnie, the problem is you see the pink mist, but you can only see about 30 feet, so you don't see this creature. You kind of have an idea of the way it's coming from, though.
And you heard me say run.
Bonnie is going to, because she's was swimming, she's going to get down onto the surface of the ocean floor, and try and hide the best she can.
What is your race again?
I am a half elf, a half sea elf. Which gives me that delightful swimming speed.
I see. Or rather, I don't. But
Which type? Aquatic.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, because you're only... Because you're only half, so you don't get a lot of the other stuff that the aquatic elves get. Okay, yeah, so yeah, you're restricted as well. Okay.
I have a swim speed, but it's not as good as.
So you do you have the I'm gonna look at that. So I thought you were a full aquatic elf, so I'm not sure that you don't need to take that potion. Do you have the thing?
That you've subscribed.
I can send it to you.
Shenanigoons, no one was bribed. Mayhem, magic, mystery, that's usually the vibe. Oh, thank you, you're awesome, 'cause you subscribed.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
congratulations, Zach Meow Meow. I'm pretty sure I know who that Zach Meow is.
Zach
I
Meow
think
Meow?
he's a very talented voice actor.
Zach Meow Meow.
Hello, hello.
But thank you to the anonymous gifter that gave Zach Meow Meow that.
Zach Meow Meow.
Indeed.
Zach Meow
Would
Meow.
that be an NPC? Zach
Zach
Meow
Meow
Meow.
Meow?
is great.
You pay
Zach
25
Meow
bucks, you
Meow.
can make anything you want as an NPC.
It's a really shitty name for a tabaxi. like
So what's your
Alright,
name?
there you go.
Aw.
It's a this gang
Meow Meow.
name. Zach
My
Meow.
parents were
I
hippies.
love it.
Yeah, they let my little brother name me.
Zach Strawberry Meow Meow.
right, Logan, I gave you the stats. Yeah.
Okie dokie. I'm just curious about the things. So you don't have anything against the cold or deep sea or anything like
No,
that.
so I think I probably did have to take that
need to
potion.
take that potion. So that means you guys
Okay,
do
so
not have an extra potion. That's going to be very important later. So
Okay.
yeah, I need you to.
I'll mark
could
it
be
off. It's
very
gone.
important later.
That's fine.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, you do not see it. You just have a good idea of the direction it's coming from. So what are you doing again?
So I'm getting down onto the ocean floor, and I'm going to attempt to hide. And when it is close to me, I'm gonna attack it.
Okay. Well, being in the krill or the plankton or whatever the hell it is, I don't know. You're already technically hidden from it, so you can go ahead and just make a roll where you're at, or you can try to duck down and find a rock or something. Either way is fine.
I want to get down where I can let Merrick get off of me since I was carrying it. That was terrible, terrible phrase.
Is now really the time?
Not right now, no.
If not now,
We
then
know-
when, Merrick?
But we know danger is an aphrodisiac. Maybe not right now.
Yeah, all right.
I would like Merrick to be able to move under his own steam should it be necessary. And not carry him into danger was what I was trying to say. Good lord. They've only, kissed once, guys. Come on now. Do you need me to
And
make
held hands.
And held hands. We held hands first. Let me know if I need to make a stealth roll. I am now all
You do need
flustered.
to make a stealth roll.
Okay, so that is a 24.
24 to hide. Perfect. Who's next?
Baby shark.
Do. Baby shark can see just fine though. So
Darn, we were hoping he lived in suboptimal condition.
Well, he's gonna have disadvantage to attack because there are all these plankton around, I think they're krill. I think plankton are different.
Oh, look,
Plankton.
krill.
Yeah, it's more like krill.
Yeah, little pink, tiny shrimp or krill. Pretty sure. Okay, so he's going to swim up very rapidly, moving faster than anybody else here can move. And he's going to, let's see, who'd be more likely to be towards the front? Probably Val.
Probably because she can see.
We got to keep Val on her toes anyway. So that's a 14 as it swoops in and bites it.
My AC is a 15. It's a miss.
Do you have all your hit points right now?
Yes.
So it swoops in and continues past you and does not seem to provoke an attack of opportunity when it does.
Son of a bitch.
So it's about another maybe 10 feet past you, but you can see it right now. Anybody who's got any vision can see it.
It's like the owl of the water.
The owl of the water. Giant shark.
It's a water owl.
It's a wow.
Wow.
Water balls, Gary. All right.
Why did my brain
Merrick.
just go, wowage is what keeps us
There are
going."
only 5 of them in the alphabet.
Okay, Merrick's up and Arthur's on deck.
What's going on?
You have krill attacking your face. They're eating all the dead skin off of your face, so you're going to look really rejuvenated tomorrow.
There's a shark.
Bonnie just
Shark.
tossed you off of her.
So I was
Yeah,
very
you're not
gentle.
holding his hand anymore. If you're,
I know. I said, and I realized I meant to do something else, and I forgot. But that's on me, so never mind. But you would have said shark hide.
What's a shark?
Good point.
Big fish, bitey teeth.
Cool.
Like big fish.
You work at a veterinarian hospital. What the hell is wrong with you, big fish? Okay, moving on. No, it is a big fish. So it doesn't matter. Moving on.
This is Val, not Heather.
Merrick will delay.
The water owl. Run. Okay, you delay. You pop out of initiative, Arthur.
Does it look like there's any chance I can run out of the way of this thing? Is it coming too fast?
No, it's much faster than you are.
Okay.
You would guess that it
Then-
can go almost double your distance every round.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna pull up my war pick and use booming blade.
Okay.
And take a swing at it.
All right. Anybody else got Matthew stuck in the brain? Do 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 do.
Yes.
Do 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 do.
Oh, yeah.
Do, 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 do.
22 to hit.
22 does hit. So as it's swimming past Val, taking a bite and just barely missing, you kind of swim over in front of it and cast Booming Blade and swing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
And that was
notice
actually a 25. I was looking at my
Okay.
boomer.
as opposed to your boomstick. So you don't feel any resistance in the water, but you may have fought in the water before and you feel like it's harder to hit, but you don't feel any of that. This magic that's on you seems to remove all of those penalties. As you kind of swim over, you take your swing, your booming blade hits, and it works almost exactly like you'd expect it to. It kind of leaves this, you feel this little bit of pressure just kind of hit around you, and a bunch of little plankton just like freeze and you think maybe die just around you. It probably wouldn't affect anybody else other than just the feel of this pressure, but they being tiny little creatures in that area in the radius just kind of bloop and just just a few inches around where you struck. How much damage? At this depth they start to sink. They don't float. I think it's the gas would have to build up, but I think they just become biosnow.
Including the booming blade, thunder damage is 22 damage.
Nice.
And then I'm going to swing again. That was easy.
We figured out the secret. Arthur just has to be underwater to hit.
That is the
things.
same roll. Another, so 25.
Nice. What level are you guys?
7.
7.
Oh shit! All right.
A second one appears.
No.
No.
Second one.
21 points of damage.
Okay.
For
How much? Sorry.
20.
Got it.
That's it. That's the end of my turn. I'm gonna just stand my ground. If it swallows me, I'm gonna go in.
Okay. It's not quite big enough to swallow you. All right.
It is
Who's
a
next?
voracious eater, though.
Adelaide.
Yep, Adelaide's an
Adelaide can't see anything, but hears that shit is happening, and pulls her bow out, and calls out to Val. Val, I just need a moment. I need light. Just for a second, and I would like to hold my action. I'd like to attack if I am able to see.
You want to ready it.
I want to ready
you
an
want to
action.
ready an action to attack as soon as you see it.
Yes.
That way your initiative won't change. You won't have to delay like what Merrick's doing. That would change your initiative. So yeah.
Yes,
So
I would like
because
to-
you draw
I would
your
like-
weapon and get ready, you're basically ready an action. So you attack, which will give you your full attack if you have 2 attacks as soon as you can see it, which is perfect.
Correct.
Yeah. And I go after Adelaide.
All right, Val.
So, question: is it still close enough to me that I could do a touch to cast light on the
Yeah,
shark?
everything's kind of happening at the same time. You just run 10 feet over as you're kind of just barely trying to catch up with it as it keeps swimming.
Okay, I cast light on
Clarifying,
the
I
shark.
did say I just need a moment of light.
I want to cast light on the shark. I think I can do that. Hold on, let me double check.
Glowing
Okay,
shark.
go for it. Works for me.
Okay, then yeah, I cast light on the shark.
Okay. All right, so you
Glowing
reach out, you
shark.
touch the creature, and it becomes like a little glowing beacon unto the toothy, and it's very obvious. Adelaide, go ahead and make your attacks.
I would like to come in.
Do I have
after
any
Adelaide.
limitations
As soon
about
as Adelaide
being
is done
underwater?
and Val is done, Merrick, you can jump into initiative here.
Do I have any limitations about being underwater with my
Nope.
longbow?
Because
or
you're
am I
because of the potion, there are no limitations on your weapon attacks.
Okay, I assume the 10 is not going to hit because that's a nat 1. But that was my second attack. My first attack was a 23 though. I would like to use an arc shot, which is the first time I'm getting to use this one. I'm so excited. I'm going to be using Seeking Arrow. So please give me a Dex save on the shark, DC 14.
12.
Okay. It will take damage from the arrow plus an extra d6 of force damage, and I learned that doesn't actually help me. Never mind. Don't worry about that. I'm just going to shoot my arrow.
Okay.
I thought it would let me have awareness of where the thing is. I just learn its immediate location if it fails that
Right.
save.
Adelaide's
It's not
initiative
I
did
thought
not
it was a
change that.
tracker thing. Okay.
I thought she held
She
her action to.
readied. Readied is not delayed.
Oh, okay, I misheard her.
Fine. 10 piercing damage on the shark.
Okay. Merrick.
Real quick, I want to
Val,
step
what
in,
do you-
Logan.
Oh,
For
sure.
my spell, I'm assuming it's going to continue moving because it's a shark. I applied my moving damage accidentally all at once, so it's taken its moving damage.
Oh, it'll
from the
take that
booming.
damage. Okay, so it's not even quite taking that damage yet, but it will. When it moves.
Correct. Mhm.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't stop
Sorry about
moving.
that.
So. No.
Yeah, Val's gonna call that good for now because I don't have any bonus action spells that I want to cast at the moment. Actually, I guess I might as well. Can I cast spiritual weapon and like call up a net?
Is it a cantrip?
No, but light was a cantrip.
Was one of them a bonus?
Yeah.
Then yes,
Spiritual
you can.
weapon's a bonus action, and then I just won't be able to attack with it yet because I have to use my action to do that.
Got it. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to call up a spiritual weapon, and I want to do a fishing net,
Okay,
but I can't attack with it yet, so I just cast the spell.
sounds good.
All right. Merrick,
So a glowing fishing net appears near the shark.
Merrick will make like Adelaide, draw his short bow, and fire off a shot.
At the throat.
That
That's my
is
move.
a 12 to hit.
12 it just grazes against its tough exterior. It looked like it was like so close. Thank you.
So close. That's much better. That's a nat 20.
That's what he'll do it.
Nice.
So now, I believe I need to roll something. Yes. Okay. Okay. Has a chance to penetrate the target hit to the next target in line. But also crits do wild magic.
Hooray.
Oh, that's right. All right, let me get that.
I'll go ahead and roll damage. Where's my d6? Oh, there it is.
Underwater wild magic. This is gonna be awesome.
God.
Oh no, I don't want the Ravenloft one. Oh my god, no.
We all just start bleeding
Alright,
out of
there you
our
go.
eyes, and then more sharks show
I was
up.
gonna say, yeah, just lose 6 charisma.
Okay, I didn't have much.
Goblin
to
appears
give.
and eats your face.
Is one of my allies within 5 feet of it?
I am.
Yes.
Okay. Then that's more.
Is that a bad thing?
No, that's real
You're
good.
like, I was hoping for a no. Oh, because you get sneaky.
Yeah.
All right. So what type
So-
of damage are we looking at?
Well, I deal an extra 4d6 with my sneak attack. So that's automatically 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plus the max of a standard D6 plus 4. So 34, and that's without rolling anything.
Okay, nice.
So then I roll 4d6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for those that might be wondering, as a house rule in my games, your crit is always maximized. The dice that you would roll for the crit is always maximized. That way, you're always guaranteed to do a little bit better than what you would normally do with an attack. I always hate critting, and then you roll the dice, and you're like, oh, I would have done more if I just did max damage or something. So we always max damage the critical damage, but the bad guys get it.
It's a total of 19.
So 19 plus, what was the first amount?
34.
19 plus 34,
53
33 plus 20, 53, which doubles the amount of hit points it has. Congratulations, it's weary.
Woo!
Phenomenal.
Well, it hasn't taken mine yet.
That is with yours. So yeah, I guess it's not quite weary yet. Or I don't know how much it would have been, so don't worry. I don't know if it's weary or not, but that's okay. Merrick, please roll me a percentile.
How about split the middle 51?
51, dude. All right, let's see here.
Are we just saying you're going to put 51 in every single word joke?
Yes.
What?
51 in a row?
I don't like that noise.
Pick a new chart.
Okay.
He won't need to. I got too excited about multiple attacks per round. I only have one attack per action. So that crit didn't happen.
Oh no!
Oh,
All right.
Okay, we'll just edit
your
this out.
honesty.
Just
I'm not
edit this
editing
out
it.
of the podcast.
Nope.
Edit this out of the
Nope.
podcast.
I've retired that
just edit
that
this out.
trick. There's no editing.
You're like, I'm not doing that anymore. All right. We can just
Sorry.
keep that as your next action. If you end up making another attack, just let's leave all that so we have the damage and everything, and just
Okay.
leave all that as like that was a glimpse into your future.
You
must be
saw it
hallucinating.
in your mind's eye
Um,
perfectly.
What was on that shrimp?
You ate some of the shrimp.
that's the problem. They're hallucinogenic
You
shrimp.
don't eat bioluminescent things. You just don't do it. Oh
All
shit!
right,
I
so
forgot
who's
I have an
next?
no, it's a bad
octopus.
idea.
Shit.
Oh yeah, your octopus could do something.
Let me roll his initiative, or should he just act on mine next turn?
Just use yours. Just use yours. It's easier that way.
That's fine.
All right.
back to the top of the order. So it's Bonnie and baby glowing shark on deck.
Can we just say the octopus inked as its turn? left?
Yes.
You guys make me ink.
That's one.
It's two.
Oh no!
Oh
That was the first one. Who did
Oh,
the
wait,
first
it's
one?
Krill! I did.
Oh, I didn't know that reference. That
Did
wasn't a
somebody
quote.
make another reference?
I didn't know the first one was Finding Nemo.
I don't think it matters whether somebody knows the reference or not. It still
Okay.
is.
Did you? Hey,
I
if you're
just
being honest,
said-
you're being
I
honest.
just said
So
you
who made the
guys
second
made-
one?
I did.
But you didn't know that one had been made for that one. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna- I'm
she didn't
gonna- I'm
know
gonna let
that
you
my
off the hook there.
reference was
That's
a
fine.
reference.
It is going to be really hard
I
not to
honestly
do
didn't either.
Little Mermaid and not to do that one, Finding Nemo. For those that
Yeah.
again don't know, because we have some new people out there, we're only allowed to make a reference to a movie once every game. Every other time after that is a magic surge, which is actually in canon, as we have already
It's
determined
called
that-
what? Wild magic
No,
sickness?
it's called magic sickness. It's a disease from being around magic items too much. These more powerful items that you guys have been going after, it's pretty bad. So anyway, all right. So I'm not gonna count that one, but yeah, if you say it, somebody should call it out and be like, that's one. And I don't think that happened that time because I missed it too. So
No
I've been
worries.
waiting. For
I
a
didn't
good
even
moment.
know it was a Finding
Yeah.
Nemo
Yeah,
reference.
I did see.
Oh,
Oh,
look,
look, Krill.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
what I
But
did.
I kept thinking that one in my head, and I'm like, I don't want to say
Yeah.
it because I probably missed.
Yeah,
already.
I did say
Sorry
it.
about that.
Yeah.
Let's get back to it. So,
Okay. I think my turn. Yes. So how close is the shark within striking distance of me now?
it hasn't
or...
moved yet, so you are within, unless it swims away at this point, you will be within striking distance. So yes. So go ahead. Yes, you are.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
Okay, so she comes out of her hiding spot and gives it a whack-a-doodle with her performer sword while making totally sick sound effects of swing, clang, smash, and trying to
Perfect.
cut it. I am so glad I did that. Holy shit. Okay, so that is a 21 to hit.
Okay, you hit.
And that is 16 points of damage for the first attack. And she is going to... Question for you, love. Can you split... If you have 2 attacks as an action, can you split them and do attack, bonus action, attack, or no?
What is the bonus action you want to do?
I wanted to use one of my bardic inspirations.
For what?
To add a... I wanted to do the... agility die for myself to add to my damage on my next attack.
I don't know the answer, so sure, that sounds fine.
Okay,
So how does that look and work?
So she's gonna kind of do a little swirl in the water, and to take the slashing flourish to inspire herself, being so happy to be back in the water.
So you come out sneaking, you start making weird kind of swishing sounds, which loses you the advantage you would have gained from being in hiding, but you gain advantage because of your weapon. Attack with that, and then swirl around and Zorro out a bee on its butt, giving you this special thing here. So all right, then what?
Yes. So now my speed has increased by another 10 feet around, and I can add a D8 to my damage, which I rolled an 8 on. So
Excellent.
if I hit, then I get
Love
to...
it. How long does that last?
Until my next turn. It's
Okay.
only... And that's a natural 20, holy shit!
Nice.
Okay. So, yeah, that's 2D8, so... Crap.
Well, I mean, we've got unspoiled food now.
Almost.
That
we have to
is
grill it.
30 points of magical slashing, or no, just slashing damage.
Okay.
And
It is now weary.
that
Well,
is
maybe
my
not
turn.
because of Arthur's, but we're not going into all of that. All right.
You're about to right now.
Good night, Chris Gear. I hope I said that right. Thank you for spending some time with us. Really appreciate it. We do a lot of this type of
Hope to
stuff.
see you soon.
We're here every Tuesday. We're on VOD. We'll be on YouTube. All of that great stuff. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes.
Farewell from Shenanigoons.
We love that you
Tell
watched
it back,
for a
you big boy.
bit.
Every time somebody says good night,
We love that you stopped by.
Hi, good job. Matthew, go. We can't wait for that entire song every time somebody says bye. Maybe just the first verse.
glowing
Ends
shark's
at,
turn.
"Oh."
There's DMs happening.
Ooh.
Okay.
This. It's not me. The shark does a jig.
So who's next?
Shark.
Oh, it's my turn. Sorry. I was wondering whose turn it was. So the shark
Arthur on deck.
swims away a little bit, takes a little more damage from Arthur's thing, turns and kind of flips back around, starts swimming back at Arthur. And as the light comes closer towards you, Arthur, and Val and Bonnie, all the people are kind of up there in that area, you all kind of see as the light comes towards you, and Arthur, you've probably seen this anyway, behind you, you see another one that's been coming in, and the light just barely starts to light it up as this one takes an attack on Arthur. The krill have left at this point. There is no more obscuring, which I realized everybody should have had that obscuring, and that's a nat 20 on Arthur. Arthur, do you have all your hit points? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I do.
What a question!
I would have gotten advantage, and I realized I rolled that 28. Doesn't matter. So that is going to be a lot. Oh my god!
Is he casting magic missile at me? Because if so, I have something I can do.
The magic missile teeth of a shark. Yes.
Otherwise,
He might be a torpedo.
Ooh, magic torpedo.
It's like one of those carnival games where you just have to throw something to knock out the teeth.
55 piercing damage as it takes a huge bite out of Arthur.
Oh, crap. How much of Arthur is left?
he just goes limp. How long do I have to stay like this, guys?
Until my turn.
Arthur
Which
doesn't
means...
do
Well,
anything.
wait, yeah, because Arthur can't do
Hold on.
anything, so Adelaide's after Arthur.
So it continues to swim on by. This time it gets about 30 feet away. So while any of you could move up to it, you're going to be moving fairly significantly away from everyone as the other one comes back down and takes a bite out of, or tries to take a bite out of, for Merrick.
Wait, what the fuck? Where was I? There's a second one?
Yeah,
I
you
think
saw
you
it
were
in the
so
back.
tired.
It started like coasting in from. We saw it flash in light real quick. I think you were writing lyrics while he said
That
that.
is possible.
Oh no!
That is
Arthur,
a
what?
22 to hit Marek.
Oh yes, my AC is a
All right.
15.
Oh no.
21 points of piercing damage as it takes a little nibble and continues on. That one, because they're crisscrossing, other than to Arthur, vanishes. It's in the dark.
No, Arthur doesn't see it either.
Well,
I don't
never
like
see
this.
the one that gets you.
I don't like this.
Hi, Laugh Love Lindy. Thank you for the raid.
Oh, hi.
You're in the
Thank
middle
you.
of fighting a bunch of
Laugh,
shit.
Laugh, Lindy. Hi.
I'm trying not to die.
Thank you.
So whose turn?
If
Yeah, who's
well, Arthur has to make a death save, and then it's
go for that death
okay.
save, Arthur?
then it's Adelaide's.
All right. So what's the deal right now? We can or cannot see the
You can
sharks.
see the
there's
glowing
two,
one. You
Okay,
cannot see the.
but can't see the other one.
Did
Okay,
it go in the
so-
same general vicinity as the other one?
No, they went crisscross.
They crisscrossed.
Okay, so because
Crisscross.
because I saw the one for a split second, but now I can't see it, I would like to take a shot with my I think I'd like to use my seeking arrow shot.
Their clothes are all inside out right now. The shark's clothes.
So this actually doesn't say I have to hit the shark to do the arrow. It says you choose one creature you've seen in the last minute and fire an arrow that flies towards the creature, moving around corners and ignoring 3 covers, quarter, and half cover. If the target is in range and a path is available, they make a dex save. And if they fail the dex save, they take the arrow damage. So I'm not actually making an
They
attack
take
roll
it.
with that.
Yeah, they take it.
So
So you just kind of shoot off into the darkness, sort of in the direction you think
yeah,
that it
and
is.
just goes, like
And then you kind of hear this satisfying. So you
So it-
either split
so it takes
Robin Hood's arrow, or you hit the.
So it was a dex. You said it failed the dex save. It was a
it failed.
14.
I got a 4.
Okay, so it took 10 piercing damage plus 1d6 damage. which I don't
Shark's
have.
over there. Hey! I'm swimming here.
3 force damage, so that's 13
That's fun.
total. And I know exactly where it is right now.
Cool. That's amazing. I like that one.
Can
Mhm.
she point at it?
I will if I know.
It's in the darkness over there. That's what she does.
Yeah, as
Oh,
long as
shit.
it's not like sneaking up behind us. That's that's
No,
my.
it is
my
it
main
is
thing.
40 feet away in the darkness.
Okay.
That counts as an attack, right? Even though I didn't roll an attack roll.
That- I don't know. What is it?
Arcane
What-
shot. As part of my attack action, I can do
There
the
you go,
arcane
yeah.
shot. Okay.
So that was one of your attack actions. So you
Okay,
can take a
then-
second attack and attack the same one because you know exactly where it is. You have no penalty.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Perfect.
And so
I'm gonna
let's
call you
roll.
Judge Dredd,
I'm not gonna use the seeking arrow again. I'm just gonna shoot at it.
Mr. I am the law. Not
Is-
the other.
That's
Is
a
it half-
16. That's a 16 to hit.
16 does hit. Yes.
If we
Right.
reference
Why is
our
it half
other
one?
shows twice, does that matter?
So there's 2 movies, so it's half a
Did we do a
reference.
second one already?
No.
Did we do?
No,
Oh no.
no.
No, there is
that was
only
a-
one movie. There's the other one is
That was 5 piercing damage. Again.
5 piercing damage on top
Yeah.
of the how much from earlier? I'm sorry.
13
13
total
total.
damage from earlier.
Got
So 18 total. And then Winford, my octopus, is going to swim up to wait till Winford finds out I did this. Winford swims up to the glowing shark and like thunk, like right on its face. And I want him to do the aid action
Sure.
to give him disadvantage on his next attack.
Okay. This is the one, the glowing one.
This is the glowing one.
Got it. Okay. So you got your octopus. Winfred just kind of face huggers him right on the face, and that doesn't really blind him because it's
No, but
the eyeballs
the
looking
tentacles
inside.
are like flapping
It
in its
annoys
eyes.
the crap out of him, and he's gonna like twitch around a bit and maybe miss his next strike because of it.
If there were air around the shark, it'd be a really funny slappy noise.
I can't make the noise and hold the button to push down at the same time. I just realized. So I made the noise
you need
to
a foot
myself. Do need a foot pedal.
Glowy shark octopus shield. Yes, I love it. All right.
Okay, so it's my turn and then Merrick's on deck. So quick question. How bad does Merrick look?
He's
Says Arthur laying dead on the ground.
I'm trying to figure out which spell I'm using.
Merrick is not bloodied. Merrick is not
Okay.
weary. Let's put it that way.
I say we don't use bloody in the system.
And I can get to Arthur this round, right? He's within 30 feet of me.
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to use a 3rd level Cure Wounds on Arthur. So I'm over and do that. Because I'm Grave Domain, when my target is at 0 hit points, they get the maximum hit points automatically from my healing.
Nice.
So it's going to be 27 hit points back.
For who? Arthur?
Yep.
Damn. All right. 27 hit points back. Good job.
And then I'm going to use the glowy net to attack the one I can see. So I'm going to move it towards the shark that is visible.
Okay.
I'm just scrolling up to the stats for the. Oh. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
The fact that it's an octopus is extremely apropos, right?
Try to do jazz hands.
Thank you for the
guys are
subscription.
awesome, thank you.
for the anonymous gift.
Yes.
I am worried about the day that somebody does 5, like a 5-pack of gifts.
Yep.
Of what's going to happen to our audio. I have no idea. They're all going to go off at once, and it's going to be frightening.
Okay, so I have to make
Okay.
a melee spell attack.
The aid action or the help action I just checked technically doesn't give disadvantage to other things. It only gives advantage to a companion, like to a friendly creature. So, just
We've always played it. You can do disadvantage on their next attack. I think that makes sense. You're distracting them. I
wasn't
don't have
sure
a
if that-
problem with that. If
Okay. That's
can
fine.
do either in my book. It's about the same in the end.
Sure. Okay. Never
I'm assuming a 25 hits the shark.
You would assume correctly.
And it's going to take 9 points of force damage from this big fishing net, basically glomping onto it. And that is my turn. Merrick's up with Bonnie on deck.
Ah, that was trippy shrimp. And then the you said that the crit happens.
Yeah, so the crit happens, all of that happens, and as you finish up your arrow shot, you turn, you shoot the shark. It kind of pierces right in its eye, just past Winfred's one of Winfred's tentacle, like right through a couple of Winfred's tentacle. We follow the arrow right into the eye. The shark just twitches a little, stops moving, kind of starts to float sideways and sink a little bit. And the just then,
Fuck you, Brit.
encircling around you, the water erupts and starts to boil in a circle around you, about a 5-foot circle around you. Just steam just boiling all around you, just constantly. You feel the water warm up a little bit, but it doesn't really affect you. Those nearby, Merrick, however, on the outside of this circle, are feeling the effects of this steam greatly. I need a dexterity save.
That'd be me and Adelaide and
I assume anybody who's close. So Adelaide, Bonnie, and Val are probably all really near. So go ahead and give me dexterity saves.
dex save.
Yeah.
That's an 11.
11's not going to do it.
I rolled a 2. What's my
I rolled a
damage?
natural 1.
14
no.
points of fire
Oh.
damage as this circular ring of fire is just burning out. And Merrick, you're gonna have this around you for 1 round. So, but if anybody attacks you, they will be subject to the damage. Melee attacks you, or if you run up to anyone and they start their turn there.
That's my turn. Yeah.
That's technically your turn because I don't think you get another attack or anything. So, you want to move? You want to do anything else?
Yeah. I'm seeing the steam bubbling away and like everybody flinching away. Merrick's gonna move back a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, move away from everyone. That's good. Winfred is sitting there like wrapping his tentacles around the arrow and like stabbing it in a little bit harder.
I told you he was a demon.
This is bloodthirsty.
Bloodthirsty octopus.
Who's that?
Bonnie's up.
Alright.
And
Bonnie?
the shark is on deck.
Are we? When is the top of the initiative? How soon?
I
is that?
right now,
now.
I'm at the top.
Right
Okay.
now, Bonnie's at the top.
So, Bonnie, as you're about to turn and start looking through the darkness for the other shark, this very colorful, beautifully patterned tail swims past you, almost like a kind of a purplish and grays. These huge, long, little, like almost like fins. If Bonnie being near the ocean, one of the things they always look out for, a very pretty fish called the lion shark. This looks like a very large version of a lion shark, but only sort of the tail fin and the back half. The front half is this very masculine looking humanoid. He's got kind of this dark skin, and he's got these long dreadlocks kind of flowing back into the back of his head. He's wearing like gold, like this gold braided sort of necklace with these shells all along it. And he comes in and he's got this horn and he blows it right in the center of you. And as he does, the water, like from the horn out, you barely hear any sound from it. It's almost muted, but it sounds like it might like be like a fog of like boom, and all of the water starts to clear. Light seems to maybe appear. Maybe you're being affected by something. All of you, and the water clears. All of the animals, the krill, no longer seem to be. They seem to be kind of pushed out to the outskirts. And as the water clears outwards, you see that there was not one, not two, but about a dozen of these sharks swimming around in the darkness. And as that goes off, it doesn't seem to have enough force to push them out. Just sort of all the murkiness and the darkness, the water perfectly clears around you and you'll be able to see. But then the sharks seem to be turned off by it. They all start to swim away.
Thank you.
He turns and looks at you, and you speak to him. He nods a little, trying to, almost like he's trying to remember the type of speech that you're using. But before you have a chance to really analyze it too far, he does speak in common back to you. You're very welcome. You're surface dwellers. What are you doing here?
We were sent by the Birchfield to Eudora. We were told you needed help against the Shogun.
Shohagen.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Thank you.
Welcome. You're safe now.
Thank you for the help with.
I'm Bonnie. And she'll put a hand out to...
I need a name for him. Anybody got a good one? Yeah, it's not so easy, is it?
On the spot.
Well, we didn't know that was our
You do
job.
that to me all the time. It's always your job.
Gordon.
Reef. R-E-I-F.
Gordon?
Just go
Fishy McManchest.
No.
No, I like Fishy McManchest.
All right, I like McManchest as the last name. What's the first?
I suggested Reef. R-E-I-F.
Or what was
Gordon.
Gordon?
Gordon McManchest.
Oh man. Okay, we're gonna go with Reef McManchest. But he's just gonna go by Reef right now. Reef, not like you.
What?
Okay. This is Arthur and Val and Merrick and Adelaide.
He turns and nods to Arthur, and then Val. And he sees Adelaide, and then he turns to Merrick and hello.
Hi.
Hello, I'm not
And
usually
he kind of
this
steps up and
chewed.
he offers his hand to Merrick.
Flames on the side of my face.
It's actually quite cold down here. You're fine. Welcome to our home. Anybody remember what the hell the name of this place was? Because I don't remember.
Eudora?
I just completely forgot.
It
Eudora,
was
that's
Just think of
Eudora.
Explorer.
Oh, fucking hell.
Is that one?
Eudora.
Hmm.
Eudora. No, that's a what is it when you use a name thing to help you remember the other thing?
Mnemonic device.
Mnemonic.
Mnemonic device, yeah. Welcome to Eudora. I'm glad that you've all come. We do need some help. We need some help desperate.
Well, we are here to render assistance.
Either way.
Lead the way.
Should I call for transportation, or do you feel like you can walk or swim or whatever you do?
I have no problem swimming.
All right, let's try that.
Weird.
And he starts
Okay,
to
Bonnie.
he starts to swim, and he's like swimming about 50 feet around, casually.
Okay, he's a little
Um,
faster than me.
When he realizes that you all can't really keep up with that without really putting out some effort, he stops and he kind of chuckles a little. I'm very sorry. I'm not used to dealing with surface dwellers. We don't get many down here, if you can imagine.
It's fine. We're not used to swimming down here that much either.
Or at all.
I will. What is it you say? A snail's pace? The snails down here are quite slow as well.
If we need to get there quickly, since you've got such a big problem, we could always use the transportation instead if that's faster.
Our problem is persistent. There's no serious rush, but I believe that you have limited time here, don't you?
Well, our ship kind of
Yeah.
went down, so our transportation back to the
I'm
mainland.
sorry. Is that a euphemism?
No?
No,
No.
he means
Hmm.
literally.
It-
There were these big water tendril thingies and these okay, they were half fish looking, but like their other half was fish.
He looks at you like you've just said like one of the most offensive things
I'm
he's
sorry.
ever
I
heard.
I don't know what the proper terminology is.
It's quite all right. You must have seen this. Fuck, I just lost the name. Now I just gave you shit for it. I'm not gonna remember it.
The Shohwagan.
The Schwagen. The show. God damn it.
The Shohogan.
I gotta go listen to Matt Mercer say it again. I just need to have his
was-
fucking sound clip on repeat here.
It looks like
The
so.
Sahuagin.
So yeah, Sahuagin.
So it's an extra syllable than you think. That's the problem. Yes, you just ran into them. It sounds like it's all right. You won't have anything to fear. Your friends or shipmates or whatever, they're all alive.
That is good to hear.
For now, or
Yes.
they're fine?
They're fine as long as they work.
Ah,
So they've
Ah.
been conscripted.
We like to call it slavery, but sure.
I understand.
And he'll start talking to you on the way as you guys continue to walk slowly for him. God damn, I gotta get that in.
It's at an
Yes.
escargot's pace.
Yes, that's cargo space. I'm gonna go listen to the damn thing so I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I just saw your comment in chat.
Sahuagin.
You're welcome.
Sahuagin. The Sahuagin, they have discovered an underground pocket of land, a magical land. They can't flood it. They've tried. They wish to harvest some of the resources there. But it is it's magical. It's impossible to flood.
Interesting.
So they have been seeking land dwellers to bring down here.
right.
This actually is not the reason why we asked you here, although now I'm realizing that it might be important to you. My apologies.
Well,
You see, we wish you to retrieve the item that they're trying to retrieve.
so they've been capturing people and trying to get them to find a thing, and we are going to go find a thing that their slave army, not really an army, slave masses, the masses of slaves.
There are several valuable things here, but there's one in particular that they've been looking.
What is it?
It's a pearl, a magical pearl. We have had a legend here that talks of this pearl. It gives command of the sea, commands of the animals and the creatures here. Something that we all have limited ability to do, but nothing like this. We believe that this pearl could command either of our races.
Oh, I see.
Well, that's dangerous.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Lucky thing is that we know a little bit about its location that they do not. So they are digging and vandalizing this landscape. But they found something else in the process, a very rare and valuable material, something that we only find in the deepest parts of the deepest trenches. They have found a lot of it, and it is very powerful and used in great magics.
What's that?
It's called air shale.
Isn't that
Poker
the
face is on.
stuff that Host was made
Okay.
out of?
I
think she
believe
told
we
me
got that
to.
information out of her.
Yeah, I thought we did.
Did we? Didn't I ask
don't
enough
remember.
questions about what are you? Let's
I remember that Adelaide had a little bit of information based on the history of them to understand something about them. They were a sentient race. I don't remember what exactly.
Well, could I make any sort of assessment about air shale itself as an arcane used in great magic?
I'm okay with us glossing over the idea that air shale is used to make Goa and is also a powerful thing. It is extremely rare on the continent of Aldara, though.
It's more
If it-
legendary than
Yeah, it's more legendary
precious.
than anything. Exactly.
That could be troubling as well.
Yes, we agree. Their shamans are. Let's say that we don't think it would be good for us if they were to get their hands on too much of it. But it is difficult to mine.
So what can we do?
We don't actually care about the air shale. We only want the pearl, and that is what we need from you. In exchange, our understanding is that you need something from us.
Yes, we were told there was an artifact that had been negotiated for the Birchfield that we would be taken home.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
this is the fun part where we get to talk about and create what that artifact is and why the Birchfield might want it. I'm approaching this one a little different than we normally do. So, this artifact, the things you know about this artifact are that it was lost. It was a surface-dwelling artifact, and it was lost at sea a long time ago. That it has some sort of powerful ability, but it is not necessarily a weapon. And that there is some altruistic purpose, at least that you and the Birchfield believe that they can use it for. So what is this item? The audience can help too if they'd like. We don't need to worry about what it does. You can just come up with what it is. What does it look like? What is it? Or you can come up with its purpose instead of what it looks like. Oh, wow.
We lost Ange.
Yeah.
That was
Can you hear
really
me?
bad. Oh, well, welcome back.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah.
No,
Or
okay.
am I-
Yes, we can
Are we
do
in the
now.
right order?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Angela's always last. Yeah.
Oh, blame
Uh,
That's
Florida.
why we put Angela last,
Yeah.
unfortunately, just because of her internet. It happens sometimes. It's okay.
My question was, is it lost at sea that we didn't know at all where it could be, or was it lost at sea that we couldn't access it and these people could?
I don't
Both?
know what the difference would be.
We knew where it was, but we didn't know how technologically to get down here, but these people
That
did.
might do. Yeah, sure. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
So-
They have it. That's the point. They have it for some reason. It was discovered that they have it for some reason. And that's as much as you know about that part of it. But I just want to know what it is at this point. And
I would
if you
say
had a
something
particular
that
question.
fell
I
off
guess
the
I
ship.
don't understand what that would change.
I
So
had
maybe I
an
can answer it
idea
better if I
for-
understood.
I had an idea
What
for
it
an
might change.
object, was all.
Okay, like what?
You said it was a land surface object that got lost at sea. I thought, okay, maybe it's something on a boat, and I went, okay, maybe it's like a compass. And then I thought maybe it was
Sure.
two compasses that could always tell where each other were, so that you'd know technically where it was.
Oh, that's a
but
neat
You
idea.
couldn't get to it if it was under the water.
All right, that's a neat idea. Arthur, what you had a question?
No, it wasn't a question. I was saying that it would probably be something that fell off of a boat, similar to what.
Yeah,
Adelaide
that's
did.
where I
Mhm.
was going. It was probably something that fell
Or
off
the
a
boat was sunk or something like that. Absolutely. I like this idea that it's a compass, but why would a compass that can always find its match be that important when you have the ability to teleport and things like that? What could be
Fair point.
What could be important about it?
Because
No, I'm saying we can add on to it and make it more. Find something else.
because I'm just kind of riffing off of the grimoire that we already found. It has to deal with the planes, right? Planar portals, that type of thing. Maybe this compass helps you unerringly navigate planes that are foreign to you. Like if
Ooh.
that it's like, for teleportation, there's always a chance of failure. Maybe like if you are teleporting to the side of a compass, maybe it's like a teleportation circle, but you don't have to put it on the ground.
So okay, so we've got two. I like this idea of two compasses. I like that idea too. I'm about to tie them all together. What are the names of these compasses? Thinking that it might have something to do with the planes. Can be obvious too. I don't mind. Can't hear anything you said,
okay.
Angela. Sorry. What's the stars that orbit around each other?
Binary.
Binary.
The binary compass. The binary compasses, something like that.
Electron.
Mhm.
Well, no, because electron is something going around something that's set, whereas with the binary star, they're actually orbiting each.
What about the astrolabe?
Excuse me. You want to get astrolabe?
An astrolabe is an
Astro
elaborate.
is a dog, Merrick.
Yep.
Jetsons. We haven't had a Jetsons yet.
That's one.
That was really good.
That was really good.
So the astro what?
Astrolabe.
Labe. Labe.
Correct.
Okay. So this is the astrolabe is a pair of devices, or is the astrolabes? Or
I think
planolabe?
together they are the astrolabe.
Okay.
Ooh, I like the idea of the
So-
Gemini compass that Matthew just
Ooh.
said.
Gemini compass.
That could work.
Guys, they're twinned. Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I had a thought about the compasses too, that playing off of what Kyle said, maybe you can unerringly navigate a plane that the other compass has been in, like either one of them, so that you take them places so that somebody can have the other one and navigate that location well.
So that's a neat idea. I have something else on that. I want to go with here, and actually, it may tie into not only back to previous things, but also to the future of things I have ideas for later. So the Gemini compass, which is a singular, but it's designed to refer to both. Either one has basically the same abilities. Except that those abilities are different on every plane of existence. And in the prime material plane, which is the plane that has people and a lot of emotion and connection, they find each other. And that's its power here on this plane. We have one, we knew where the other was. It took a while to start connecting and talking to people that had it. And we decided to make a negotiation. They finally had something they needed help with. And that's the connection, because you need both of them if you're going to travel other planes, because alone they don't necessarily work in every plane. I like this. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
So the
that's
Gemini
really cool.
compass.
I like this idea.
Excellent
Thank you,
work,
Matthew.
everyone. So the Gemini
job,
compass
team.
is exactly what you are here to get. One half of the Gemini compass. All right. So you're continuing on. Yes. So you're here for the Gemini compass.
Yes.
It's an artifact that was dropped down here years ago. We never understood. It always seemed to point in the same direction. But now we understand that it is looking for its mate.
Essentially, yeah.
Aren't we all?
As
It's
Merrick
Gemini.
glances over at
Yeah,
Bonnie.
I was gonna
Gemini,
say
go
Val
to the
just
bar.
looks between Bonnie and
Weirdly,
Merrick.
weirdly, McMahon face or whatever is like between them, and so there's
Manchest.
awkward.
Chest.
McMahon face.
Chase. I have the feeling that McMahon Chest is walking between the two of them suddenly.
It's weird, like Merrick was trying not to look at Bonnie, but accidentally made eye contact with him, and it's like, oh, sorry.
And he does often swim backwards while you guys are like sitting there, so his body's like kind of sort of constantly swaying and moving, and he's flexing the muscles on his chest and things. Just kind of natural how they move.
It's weird. Yes, you're talking about the Gemini compass.
Constant dabbing and Like picks up rocks to move them out of your way since you're walking.
He's a perfect jellyfish.
Oh, Jesus. As you guys are walking, do you have any other questions for him as you continue? on?
Suddenly, Bonnie is so much less excited about being down here. Don't know why.
I mean, Adelaide would at least try to pick his brain about, what other things could be down here that they're searching for, not just the air shale and the compass, that sort of stuff.
Val,
I have a question.
yeah, sorry.
Go
Val
ahead.
does
Val.
too. Coming from more of a military background with the Knights, Val wants to know what the forces look like for the Sahuagin. Like how many Sahuagin or Sahuagin, however you're supposed to say it. How many ugly fish people? She doesn't say it this way.
Wow.
Val doesn't say it this way. This is Heather because she's tired. How many ugly fish people are there that we're going to have to fight? Basically, she's trying to figure out what the forces look like.
How about hostile rather than ugly? So it's not about how they look. How many hostile folks are there?
We can go with hostile.
Are there?
Again, reminder, the audience may not realize this. Heather hasn't slept in over 24 hours, so her brain is going bleh. So, yeah, words, not my friend.
So now that you've had a chance to work all that out, can you ask me the question in a very simple phrase again?
What are their forces like? Like military force? Like how many people do they have?
They don't. It's more tribal. He'll tell you that it is. It's a large force. They're all very warrior-esque. They all fight. They all hunt. At least the ones that they know about and see. There was a time in the past when they were friends, when their people were connected in a way. But that's ancient. It's so long ago that nobody really remembers it. It's just in their history. But they have they have a history of in imagery and art that has them together, existing in harmony, and now they don't. I saw who again. The Sahuagin are very, like I said, very tribalistic, very very predatory. I think that's right, more right. And yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Okay.
They will kill you if you run into them. You might run into one.
And
you
there's
might
a
run
lot
into
of them.
100. But yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of them. I mean, there's hundreds of them. There's a village or maybe a town-sized group. Anything else?
Yeah, my question is something that we're very good at. Can you tell me the ways in which we could screw this up? In other words, is there stuff that we shouldn't be doing?
What do you mean?
Like sacred lands that
What
we
can
should
we?
tread
Is
upon.
there something we should avoid doing that's going to upset?
If it talks, don't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a problem for Arthur. Arthur's like, I'm thinking twice about this deal, you guys.
You will not find such keep off my grass type philosophies here. Is that right? Respect each other. And we do not hold to ritualistic tendencies when it comes to the surface dwellers. You don't know any better, so we will treat you as such.
Very well.
Leniency, I believe you would call it.
That's probably good in our case. Sorry again about whatever it was I said earlier that offended you. I wasn't trying to. I just didn't know what the right words would be.
Would rather be treated like a child than an
Um,
interloper.
It would be like if I came to the surface and compared you to the ape or to a cat. If you were one of those tabaxis.
Close.
Tabaxi. Got it.
Yes, some people squeeze them.
Okay.
Understandable. Hi, Snark birds.
Thank you. And I don't even know what for, but thank you just for being here. You're amazing. So as you guys continue on, in front of you is this huge, almost like wall of gigantic seaweed that's maybe 4 or 5 stories tall, and thick enough that you can't see through it, just sort of going off in either direction for maybe, well, as far as you can see. And even though the water stayed clear around you, and you can see a little bit farther than you would normally, like you can see maybe 200-300 feet at this point, you just cannot see an end to this. It just disappears into both sides. And he walks up to it and he starts petting it a little bit. And he says, he kind of motions to you, please appease it.
Okay. Is there a specific way we have to?
Respectfully.
Okay.
I will not eat you. I will not eat you.
But
Are you reassuring it or reminding yourself?
everybody give me a persuasion check.
That is not something that Dell is particularly good at.
20 non-natural.
Natural 20s, 23.
Oh, I rolled
I'm-
high. God.
I
You're
did.
getting good rolls today. Yay.
22.
I hug it.
Val
I
just
rolled an-
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
I rolled an 8, so I think my octopus got too close to it.
I'm scratching right behind the kelp's ear.
It doesn't
ear.
seem to bother your octopus, actually. Merrick?
A 12.
So Arthur, Val, Bonnie, as you walk up to it and you start to sort of pet it, it feels just like you would expect kelp or seaweed too, although much thicker pieces than you've ever seen before. It's a little soft and it just kind of floats and just kind of waves underneath your hand and moves very naturally. As you do that, you're able to put your hand, as you pet it, it's a little bit deeper into it and you kind of start to part it, and he kind of motions for you to go ahead and walk through. Merrick and Adelaide, as you do it, it almost stiffens up and becomes rigid. And Adelaide, you got an 8. You get a paper cut on your hand, like we rub against one of the edges and you just feel this real sharp edge. And now there's salt water in it, so it's really not feeling well. And you're not getting rid of that for a while. So you're just like, oh shit. And he kind of just laughs and shakes his head. A little more gentle, maybe. Okay, try again. And he comes over and he kind of pets it with you, so to cancel out your disadvantage for your second attempt by giving you advantage. So go ahead and roll again for both of you.
Oh, was I rolling a disadvantage?
No. You would be
Okay.
on your second try though, because it's turned hostile against you.
I rolled a 7.
No, Matthew.
Oh, this is 7.
Oh yeah, okay.
A 19.
Okay. And she froze.
So
Yeah.
So Merrick, as you touch it again, it softens up and it lets you pass. And as the rest of you start to kind of push through, he says, "Don't stop, please keep going." You start to push through. As you come through to the other side, you see that this kelp you think isn't kelp. You don't think this is seaweed. You think it's some sort of animal, because these long, stringy sort of leaves, and they're not quite leaves or whatever. As they go up, Bye. Hold on.
We're gonna be.
I'm working on it.
I'm here.
I have my eyes closed. As long as these things kind of go up, they kind of continue all throughout as you continue on for a very long time until you get to sort of what you guess is maybe the center of this, almost like 50 feet. You've walked through this stuff. And as you do, it opens up inside, but they kind of curl up over and like almost make a canopy. And the interior of this, instead of being kind of this greenish, maybe camouflage color, inside it is like this glowing sort of pink white, and it actually seems to give off light, lighting up this village on the inside that is made from these obvious plants, these sort of huts and things made out of seaweeds. Merrick, you start to push your way through, and Adelaide, you are still there, and he just kind of sighs.
Fucking other hand, seriously?
Did you roll under 10 again?
I rolled a
You said 7. So yeah, you got another one. Yeah.
Ow.
You need to be more gentle.
It should be more gentle.
It is our first line of defense, so no.
It's doing a bang-up job.
Pretend it's a book.
Without the paper cuts.
So he reaches into a little pouch on his side, and he pulls out what you think are probably fish guts. And he takes your hand and kind of rubs your hand in it, and then he kind of puts it over like into the seaweed, and it kind of just like coils around and kind of pushes against it and holds on to it. Go ahead. Give me another check.
Okay, 18.
So with his help and having your fishy hand, he helps you through the seaweed and guides you into this large village beyond.
Ow.
Which is beautiful.
So there's no lights needed really inside of the village itself, because the entire creature is giving off light and pretty much lights everything here. You see dozens and dozens of different merfolk around, and most of you sent me some great imagery. I'm gonna have each of you describe a different merfolk. If anybody who wants to, anybody who sent me one can go ahead and describe their merfolk as a just kind of different, all sorts of different types of fish people exist here. Merfolk. Who wants to go first?
I will.
Okay, we'll start and end with you because I know you've got at least more than one.
I have lots of merfolk.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You get 2. Calm down.
So there is a gentleman going about his business, swimming, that from just under his chest, these 2 almost wings flare out on either side, as the bottom half, his bottom half is that of a manta ray and tail, and he's got little fins coming off of his arms with long pointed gray ears and kind of messy black hair. And he's just going about his business with a satchel across his chest and almost flapping these wings like a manta ray would to glide across.
Love it. Who's next?
I'll go next.
All right, go for it.
So, this blue skin, it's like dark blue. Think lapis lazuli from Steven Universe. Dark blue with the scales starting and almost going like very black with an iridescent kind of opal sheen to them along the back, and they have their fin is long and billowy coming out from their back, and it turns into this bright orange color that bleeds back into the blue along the fringes. If you're thinking of a beta fish, that'd be very similar to that. Take a bit of poetic license with the image I have here. They are practicing fencing with a piece of coral, and they're wearing it looks like a coral-esque mask as they're practicing with a sword, or it looks like a coral rapier.
Love it. Beautiful. All right, next. Go for it. Alex.
There is a person of let's say indeterminate gender with a sort of seahorse tail. It like curls forward, and their skin is entirely in this very golden coppery color. There's a bit of a metallic to it, and they have a very wavy mohawk down the back of their head.
Oh, I like that. All right, and do maybe two more real quick. Or one more. Bonnie, you want to just wrap it up?
Sure. There's a woman moving slowly down the sidewalk that's got the sidewalk. I don't know why I said the sidewalk, but is dark brown side swim, exactly. Dark brown skin with very light iridescent markings up the side of the nose and down her sides, and her fins coming off her elbows and off where her hair is, and down almost a bit like an anglerfish would, or some sort of deep sea bioluminescent fish, with little kind of appendages that float off around her, catching little hints of light.
Beautiful. I love it. All right. So that kind of gives you some of the ideas of diversity of the types of merfolk that exist down here, all in sort of the same place. And going about the days, as you start to walk through the village or swim through the village, you see that the village is multi-tiered because there's no reason not to be. It's almost like if you've ever been to an Aarakocra village, they can all fly. So guess what? They use height to their advantage. There's different tiers. How far up you go in different sections actually become the different sections of the city, as opposed to otherwise. Like, most of the people seem to live either towards the bottom or towards the top, and there is no distinction. Like the types of half fish they seem to be don't seem to determine. So if they're more of a bottom feeder type fish, they don't necessarily tend to stay towards the bottom of the thing. You're not seeing any stereotypes within that. And the middle districts seem to be what they consider their market districts. People selling wares and different things, and hunting equipment and fishing nets and baskets and things for catching things. All sorts of natural organic plant food, and of course fish and lobsters and all manner of crustaceans and good eats. Not Brown is there, just because he should be everywhere. And yeah, so it's a wonderful little village. Everyone seems fairly friendly to you. Nobody seems to look at you weird just because you're a surface dweller. They seem to welcome you fairly well.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, everything here is really nice. And this is a fantastic defense system, I have to say.
Yes, it's very effective. Adelaide's just sort of babying her hands, putting her glove.
Just feel lucky that you did not try to push your way through it. It would have cut you to ribbons. So, we have accommodations for you. If
that would be lovely. Rest would be welcome.
We have. I sort of expected you to have some sort of pockets around your head, but you don't. It's. We made accommodations in the air. Do you need that? Do you not wish that?
I wouldn't say no.
We've been fortunate to be given some potions that help with acclimating ourselves to the environment down here. for the better part of 7 days, we should be fine without any air. Though having it is very kind of you and is appreciated.
I wouldn't say no, just from a Bonnie, breathing's one thing. The integrity of the fabrics I'm wearing is another.
Understandable.
Let's just let them air out a little.
Okay.
They'll get that wonderful salt crust.
Yeah, and I do believe that you will prune, is it?
Preen?
Well, you
Did
know
I
when
say
you
it
stay in
well?
the bathtub too long and your fingers get all...
Oh, yes, prune.
Ah, it was correct, yes. What is a preen?
It's like,
Many prunes.
not...
A swarm.
All right. Swarm of prunes. Okay. All right.
I'm only kidding, Merrick. What is it? What is it?
So, you seem very familiar with surface dwellers and idioms that we have.
We have stories.
Things like combing one's hair, or I imagine perhaps polishing one's scales to clean oneself, improve one's appearance, perhaps.
Oh yes, absolutely. Some even stain their scales.
Really?
Interesting.
Probably similar to my tattooing.
It is not
Are we
permanent.
still pixie painted?
Yeah, a little
No.
bit. Although you're starting to notice. Well, no, you guys had a month off. Yeah, I think it went away pretty much. You have maybe some faint in the dark where there was darker paint, or certain colors may stick a little bit more, like purples, or maybe a red might stain. A dark red might stain a little bit more than others. But
I feel attacked right now.
but other than that, yeah, no, you're fine, and it'll be gone. You know, especially with the saltwater and stuff, it'll be gone fairly quick. We don't. Most of us don't permanently change our bodies, but it's not to say that we don't. We just don't. We don't care. It's not forbidden or taboo.
When is dinner?
Whenever you like. We don't. We understand that dinner is some sort of meal that you eat. We don't eat at any particular time. We choose whenever we wish.
Neither do I.
He pretty much just constantly eats.
But he promised to be on his best behavior while we're
Mhm.
down here.
I will try to talk to it.
be
Won't
honest,
eat it if it
Nothing
responds.
from the market will do that. But we will supply food for you as part of our arrangement. Or if you want something special, maybe I could purchase it for you, depending on what it is. Not too expensive.
How do you guys cook food?
Why? What is that?
Heat food to
Oh,
make it.
oh
do you
yes,
use
we
fruit
do that with many of our crustaceans. We don't do it with fish much, but the crustaceans, yes, we use underneath the city there is a hot hot vents, I think you call them. Places where very extremely hot water come out, and we place them around there. We have metal cages we put them in and lower them down. I can show you the way.
Be
Yes,
lovely. I'd
please.
love to-
So they take you down underneath this. Basically, you swim through like little holes, but these holes look very kind of fleshy and organic. And every once in a while, they don't close all the way, but they kind of just like tighten and loosen. And you feel water kind of push away, but you swim down through them and out on the other side, and you're underneath whatever this thing is that surrounds the city. And underneath here, it's almost like a mini dome, a smaller dome than above, maybe only 60 or 70 feet across, well, I guess it'd be like 100 feet across. And down here, you see that these kind of heated, you almost see the heat in the water immediately, kind of rising up, and you feel like warmer temperatures. And you see that these long strands of woven kelp are lowering, or they have them attached to cages down at the bottom. You also see cages away from those vents all around down here that have all sorts of different crustaceans trapped in them and things. These are private. Do not eat these. We will bring you the food that we have purchased. These are for the vendors, for their livelihood.
Of course.
Okay.
So you can bring your food down here to cook it.
Yeah, we're not used to eating raw fish.
Well, depending.
Some of us
Often.
aren't.
All right. I thought that you had some sort of raw fish affinity.
I'm always willing to try.
I grew up on the seashore in a fishing village. I've had fish prepared in probably every way.
All right.
It's quite good.
Well, I would be very happy to show you around. I could make you. He turns to Merrick. Maybe make you some of my specialty. I enjoy tuna.
Your specialty sounds delicious. I wouldn't mind trying it.
Excellent. So let me show you back to your home, your place to live. And he takes you back up through one of these vents and into a part of the village that is a huge sort of dome of seaweed and kelp. But the seaweed and kelp look like it's all smoothed over. It's almost covered in this like kind of blackish sort of material. You're not sure, something organic and looks like it's just kind of like you see the texture of it underneath this black coating. And as they swim down and up underneath, you see that this dome is more like a bubble, and it flattens out almost completely flat as it kind of then bubbles up and around like a shaped balloon almost. Inside, it has got the same sort of blackish material kind of painted on the walls. It's hard, kind of almost like a hardened tar or something, and it makes a great floor. It's textured, so it's a little bit, but they have it's very slightly sloped, so the water kind of seeps back to this area, and every once in a while, up from the center of this large hole, like bubbles just kind of erupt, like just a series of just like somebody upturned a trash can under the water, just and the water level goes down a little bit, and as you guys kind of move around, it comes back up to the edge of it. You're not sure, somewhere there's a little bit of air escaping, you don't know, but it's very, very slow. And if this air is constant, maybe every 5 to 10 minutes it kind of bubbles up, this place will stay set with fresh air for forever. So the and inside there are like kelp piles that look like they're designed to be sort of soft, and they're a little wet and weird, but they seem to be soft. Well, I say wet, they are soft and green, but they're not actually slimy or wet. You don't get wetness on you from them, but it just feels like you're sleeping on piles of rubber. They've got little tiny like seed pods or something, like dozens and dozens of them per strand, that feel like little pockets of air that you're kind of sleeping on. And there's 6 of these piles around, and next to it there's a little cup. There's some pitchers of fresh water, you would guess. You're not sure how they got that in here around, and yeah, that's what you see. This will be modest, I would guess, compared to your normal ways. And he's kind of sitting at the edge of the water. Obviously, he's not coming up in. He actually flops up and just kind of sits at the edge.
This is perfect.
He
Thank
like
you.
slowly
Yeah,
lifts
this is great.
himself all the most completely out of the water with his arms, just twists like he's on a what's the vault at the Olympics. He's on the sawhorse. He's just like kind of leans his body over and like slowly sets himself down to show that his concentration.
Flexes again.
Yeah, basically he's flexing.
Are
Alright.
you sure you don't know the definition of preening?
Right?
Arthur goes over to one of the
so-
piles and pets it.
One of the things that that you feel starting to return to you is your sense of smell. This entire time, you really haven't had a sense of smell. There hasn't been anything, and as it starts to return, you smell almost a tar-like substance. It's like that kind of like acrid scent, and you're not happy about it. As a matter of fact, you're starting to wonder if this black material isn't organic in some way, because of the smell in here. And you'll get used to it. It's not super heavy, but you're wondering if there's something not quite, you're wondering if it's organic and not necessarily just some sort of tar.
So, where do we use I'm trying not to use idioms. Where can we make waste?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't know that. We just sort of. Well, is
It's
it
a big ocean.
offensive?
Is it what?
Is it offensive? Is it? I don't know what it looks like. Why don't we send you towards the outskirts of the city? Sort of underneath. You remember when we went down underneath with the cages, just off in one side, far away? Would that be helpful?
Sure.
We can make that work.
All right. So is there anything else that you need?
No. When do we begin?
We're gonna need to get some
Rest.
food for tonight, but otherwise, yeah, I think rest.
We will have some food delivered. My daughter will bring some by.
Oh, you're a parent.
Yes, I am.
So, Reef, I am kind of curious. Why was it just random happenstance that you happened to encounter us out there on the seafloor, or are you sent as a greeting?
I keep watch for the Sahuagin and
So-
other threats.
So, as a scout, you're just more familiar with surface dwellers, then?
I have met a few before. We have rescued a couple. Unfortunately, it did not go well.
For you or for them?
For them, unfortunately, we were trying to find a way to return them to the surface, and we did not understand how to do it. They did not make it. They did not understand how to do it either.
Do you have any more of the magical horns?
We have several, but they are ours.
Adelaide
I will
just
see what I
snaps
can do about
Winford.
getting you one.
Sits.
I will also have the compass brought to you.
Thank you. That's much appreciated.
Thank
Of
you.
course. We trust that you will follow through on your end.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else besides the pearl that you guys want us to get out of those caves, or is everything
We
else
only
kind
care
of
about
just
the pearl. We've not negotiated for anything else. But
All
we
right.
will. If there's any other treasures or anything that are significant to our people, we will let you know upon your return, and we will negotiate for them. We understand that part of your payment will be whatever you find. We understand that's important. There might be some significance to your land dwellers. we understand there's some sort of temple there.
Interesting. I wonder who it's to.
I do not know. I'll have more information for you later.
Thank you, Reef. You've been incredibly kind and generous and helpful.
Adelaide sits down and lets Winford crawl around and just takes a moment because we haven't really had a chance to just sit.
Yeah, it's been a little hectic today.
Do you need bandages, Adelaide?
Yes.
Your hand still smells fishy too.
Oh. Ew. Ow.
I'm sorry, I don't have any. I was just wondering if you needed them.
Adelaide! Ow.
Arthur just gets like a
Still
look from Val
ready
and
to
she
like-
pulls out her healer's kit.
Is Reed still there, or has
Reef has left.
Reef. I
That's
meant.
okay.
I meant Reef. If I said Reed, I apologize. Bonnie's going to prestidigitate a little, for lack of a better term, like a Glade plugin kind
I
of
was
thing going on.
That, yeah.
Little kind of calm lavender breeze that flows through the room.
Eucalyptus
Okay.
tea tree is really relaxing.
All right.
Just in my little bubble. I won't impede on Bonnie's olfactory interior design. I'll just keep it here.
Oh,
So, a
this
few
is
minutes later-
interesting.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, dude, Bonnie was just saying, well, this is interesting.
So just want to make sure that it was clear to everyone. This is one big bubble that you were all sharing.
Okay.
Yes.
So you start to like check on your clothes and things, and everything is wet, and you are pulling krill out of different places of your clothing and things.
Oh, just constant
they got
crawling
stuck in.
sensation.
No, they're dead. They're dead,
Oh,
but it's just they're
That's somehow worse.
but they're inside your bags. They're everywhere. They got to your food, although your food's ruined anyway. There's nothing. If you had anything paper, if you had chalk, if you had basically anything that can be ruined by water, it's ruined. It's ruined. So a few minutes later, a head sort of pops up out of the water, and you're sort of realizing at that point that there's no knocking, there's no door, there's not really a lot of privacy here, although looking at each other, there's not gonna be a lot of privacy anyway. As this beautiful head of very thick curly red hair just kind of like flumps down onto these shoulders, this woman who's got this beautiful dark skin. She's wearing kind of this kind of a corset top, and she's carrying just this huge basket full of lobsters and crabs and abalone and just all manner of crustacean and oysters, and she kind of just like sits it up here and just kind of leans on the edge and looks around at everyone, just kind of really fascinated by all of you, just like looking like she's like looking at like watching children play, just like super excited to see you.
Oh, hello.
Hi. You're all so
I'm
different.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Did you bring food for the others?
I have 2 more baskets down here. Yes.
That's good.
Dad said you might be kind of.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
Your dad was correct.
I'm Bonnie.
I'm Ari.
Nice to meet you, Ari.
How would you spell that completely not metatextual?
A-R-I?
Okay. Thank you.
What's wrong with Ari?
Angela was asking. via Adelaide's voice.
If I had to guess, I was gonna say it was Aquiel or something, but Ari is beautiful.
That's better. That should be my name.
You have every
okay.
right
Ari's-
of autonomy to name yourself. You just tell your dad that's the
I
way
like
it is.
Ari. I'll stick with it.
Do you can I give you a hand? I'm happy to help out if needed.
She'll like kind of push it over. I'll be right back. And she goes down and comes up and doesn't even like pop over to the basket. Just kind of pops up. She slides it onto the thing, goes down, pulls out another one. So there are 3 gigantic. I mean, this is like pounds and pounds of food. Probably 30 pounds.
Holy Lord.
So it's probably 50 pounds of actual stuff to get 30 pounds of food.
That's a lot of food.
Thank you.
He said to treat him like a whale. Like if we were to feed him.
Me.
Yeah.
It's accurate.
Said you were an eater.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Said you
Good
talked
way
about
to go.
food. Said you must be very hungry and they wanted variety too. Should I get some fish?
There was tuna mentioned earlier.
Oh, Father was
Special.
making tuna, I think for you, the short one, right?
Merrick, yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's very nice of him to do that.
Especially for Merrick. Does tuna hold any sort of cultural significance with your people? Specifically making
it's
a
very
tuna dinner?
tasty.
I like tasty things.
That I can agree with.
Will you be joining us?
I
As we
would
eat.
love to. And she kind of swims up and just plops her butt down on the edge there. Merrick, right? I can take you to my father now. He said he's ready.
Well, I believe
Would
that
he not Yeah.
I'm going to be our cultural attaché, as it were.
Absolutely.
Represent us well.
Yeah.
I'll
Just,
be back soon.
Enjoy.
He looks
Yeah,
at
just-
Ari.
Be careful how much you sachet, Mr. Attaché.
I don't believe that I've ever sashayed in my life.
I don't know what any of these words mean.
We'll give you a crash course.
What does that mean?
We'll teach you.
Oh, yay. I like learning.
Adelaide leans over to Arthur and says, "Do you think Ari knows she's about to have 2 daddies?"
If Bonnie hears that, Adelaide gets death glares.
Someone's gonna be jealous.
Well aware. Sure. I'll roll deception to be quiet or something.
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, this is a fairly big room. So you head down with Ari. She swims about halfway across the village. I can't tell if he's frozen or if he's just really good at just standing still. And I think he's frozen.
Yeah, he's
Okay. So Merrick's gone. That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
He's typing.
Sure, he'll be back.
He lost the internet, so we're about to have to fill.
That's okay because we're about.
So
to,
who's
we're wrapping
Jaegering
up.
for the date?
What's that?
No, I need to see how that ends. Thank you.
No, I think we're gonna save that for next time.
No. Curses. Oh, he's back.
Yep. Can you drop
New
please,
order.
Angela? New order. Who's this?
Yeah.
Perfect. It's
Perfect. Good job, guys. God, we're getting this down to a science. You guys are so good.
Yep.
So she takes you about halfway across the village to a beautiful little home on the top of one of the tiers. Kind of oversees a lot of the other city, but not all of it. There's higher tiers. It's must like a view or something. You go inside, and it's very different than what you might expect. Things are sort of backwards. Like a lot of the stuff is kept towards the ground as opposed to up high, and a lot of the living space is kept above it. So like they don't have cooking utensils, but the types of utensils and tools and things they use, they keep on things on the ground, in boxes and things on the ground, as opposed to cabinetry or something up on a wall. As you go in, there's a kind of a table, and he's prepared. He's got this beautiful sort of bone blade that looks like it's been hand created, carved out of maybe whalebone or something. That he is slicing almost in impossibly thin pieces of just the most beautiful red tuna you've ever seen. And he's got another piece of tuna there that is kind of more of a fatty tuna. And he's doing kind of more like cubes with that, and he's got some sort of rub, some sort of mixture that he seems to be putting the pieces in and kind of rubbing his hands through, and the more cubed pieces and of the fatty, and flavoring them in some way, but that it seems to stick to it without it kind of falling off in the water, something very sticky. And he kind of just puts some in a bowl near you, and the small pieces of very thin tuna kind of just folds and rolls with some little seaweed, some sort of seaweed that you've never really seen before, and puts a bunch of those out and just puts it in front of you, and sits down kind of at this sort of kind of a table. It's just kind of this thing jumps off the wall. They just kind of float there though. There's no chairs, so he's kind of float in a position near it. And he's got a plate for him as well. And as he's preparing, he's just talking to you and talking to Ari, tells her to go and get the compass, take it back to the rest of them as you sit down to this meal.
Looks fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
What do you call it?
It's tuna.
Sorry. Right. Well, okay. You said that you make this particular dish, right? Usually, our chefs have names for things like, duck à l'orange, because the elves like fancy things like that. And so does this dish have a particular name?
Tuna McManchest.
Perfect. It speaks volumes to the craftsman and the ingredient by which the dish was made.
He made it with his chest.
That's how he
what
serves
Logan
it.
didn't describe was that this was actually one of those like person on a table eating sushi off
Just
of
eating
the
off
situation.
of it
He's just been laying here the whole
the
time.
whole time. So as you eat these, the fatty tuna is the kind of seasoning that's on it, this sort of marinade or whatever that kind of sticks to it. It's kind of not gritty, but it's kind of textured a little bit, but kind of almost melts in your mouth along with the tuna itself. And you actually think that the fact that you don't have salt water in your mouth might be hindering it. You feel like it's designed to work with the level of salt that comes along with kind of just having salt water constantly in your mouth. Merrick knows a little bit about cooking, I think.
All the salt in the pasta water.
And so you get the idea that you might actually feel like you might be losing something because of that, but it is extremely tasty. And then the other one with the seaweed is extremely spicy. It's almost like raw wasabi root being rolled inside of these thin tuna, and it's just kind of got this real kick to it. Hits your sinuses, and then it's just kind of gone.
Well, that was delightful. Thank you for sharing.
And you make some small talk during it. He doesn't, even though we're kind of implying that he might think this is the date, he doesn't ever say or do anything that makes you feel that way. It's just really a lot of small talk, learning about you and where you come from, and learning about the thing. Is there anything in particular you want to try to learn?
Yeah. I think because this seems like a small village, right?
You would say it's probably 600 or 700 people.
I'm sorry,
Total.
my internet.
600 or 700.
How many? Okay. If there are any larger population centers, if there's like any
So
areas
he'll
of
tell you
cultural
there are
importance.
smaller groups of them, but that this is the largest group of merfolk that exists in this side of the ocean. This is their main city.
Mecca.
Adora, evidently.
I'd also want to find out if what their I don't know, maybe what their religious beliefs are, because they said that this pearl had some sort of like historical significance of control. What I'm trying to get at, and I'll tell you, Logan, this is that like if there's any sort of like cultural importance aside from the legend of the power of this pearl that they place on it. Like,
all right, sir, give me a persuasion roll. Let's start with an insight roll.
Okay, that is a 20.
With a 20 insight roll, you see that while he doesn't like dodge the question, it seems like it's something, I don't want to say uncomfortable with him to talk about, but it is something they don't normally talk about with outsiders. That being said, give me the persuasion check.
Not as good. That is a 11.
So he does reveal to you that they have that they worship what they call the Great One, which is the deep sea goddess, basically. That she is responsible for all of the sea, and they believe that this pearl is the representation like of her. Almost the way he kind of talks a little bit about it, you get the idea that the power of the god is in this pearl. It's kind of how it feels, and it kind of draws a parallel to the idea of the gem, the jewel of the island jewel, the power, whoever is gifted or granted this, but in this case, it's not gifted or granted; it's taken. And you 11. I think we have to leave it there. Yeah. Right.
Cool.
Awesome. So you get that information and you spend maybe an hour or two, and he gives you, they don't really drink, but he has artifacts that he brings you. One of them is a bottle of wine. And he says, this has some significance to you. Is this important? I understand that you drink things. And he offers to, he doesn't know what to do with it. So he offers it to you as just kind of a thank you for coming. And it has no label. It has obviously been here a very long time, but it's been kept cool.
It's lost and found.
So it's a very good chance that it's probably still good. Do you open it with him?
I would offer him to come back and partake with. I imagine that Ari went back to eat with the rest because she was invited to dinner. I would say we should go back to my friends and we can all share it together. How does that sound?
So he brings out the kind of the beginning of the meal. So he says, well, why don't I have another, why don't we have this one here? And then we'll go in with your friends. Cause seems really excited to understand and learn about it. And he says, I'll bring my other one, with your friends after we're done eating.
Well, my concern is that if this is a wine from the surface, that if I uncork it, it will disperse into the atmosphere, as it were, in here. It's a liquid, and you imbibe it.
He seems to be struggling with the concept to truly kind of understand what you're talking about. But after a while, you kind of explain it to him, and he asks if there's a way to, like, could you keep the cork on it and drink from it, or do we need to go somewhere where there's no water?
We would need to go somewhere where there is an air pocket, much like the room that my group and I are staying in.
So he says that he has something like that when they were testing. It's very close to his house. It's a much smaller version of it. And so he grabs the food up, and the two of you just go basically next door to out back, I guess, to a much smaller pocket. It's like looks like a giant seed pod where they were looking at these underground pockets of trapped air they found. And they're kind of like these little bubbles are just constantly bubbling up into this area.
It's getting more intimate.
Yeah.
Never go with a merman to a second location.
That's one.
It's good. I don't remember where it's from, so I'll never make a second.
John Mulaney. It's John Mulaney joke. So he, for the first time in his life, imbibes alcohol along with you. And Merrick, roll percentile. Let's see how well you like this bottle of how well you like this bottle.
Oh boy.
So, and then I'm going to roll my percentile and see if you have any taste. It's not bad.
A 71.
So you like it, and I rolled a 62. So it's actually a fairly good bottle of wine. It's not the best you've ever had, but for how old it is, it's not bad, and you enjoy it. So.
Wait, so the disparity between the two percentiles is how good the wine actually is.
Mine is how good the wine. How good the wine is versus how much you enjoy it. No, not how good you think it is.
Oh.
Everyone has different tastes, but it's how much he enjoys it. I'm just curious. So, because if it's or we can just roll percentile, that's how many points it is. I don't think a 62.1 is very good though. So I think that's really bad. I don't even know if it goes that low. So, I know nothing about wine. I think it's made from grapes. Moving on. So can we make cotton candy grape wine? So moving on.
There is an essence.
So after one drink, he's like, that's a very strange sensation. He says it almost feels like spice. I can feel warmth. And you got to probably talk about wine for a little bit. And
you do want to go slowly with this if it's your first time.
Yeah, he does. Although he has no cups. So, you're like, cups was a strange thing they gave you. So you guys are sharing the bottle.
So the first time that I had wine, it was one of my mom's bottles that she was using for cooking. And I was not aware that it was of a different quality than the ones that she kept in the cellar. So I snuck it up to my room and have you... Do you know what... okay, I was very ill. Let's put it that way. That's a very nice way of phrasing it. That's as descriptive as I dare get.
Oh, like you imbibed too much Wonder Kelp.
I'm sorry, Kyle didn't catch that.
You imbibed too much Wonder Kelp.
Wonder Kelp.
Yeah, you chew on Wonder Kelp and you have visions.
I think
you get sick from having too many.
I think I got a taste of that out in the ocean floor. I had a vision of.
All right. You're sharing this experience with me. Maybe tomorrow, if we have dinner again, then I can share that with you. And we're going to leave that scene for there. As we cut back over, Ari has come back. She's brought this very large, not very large, very small, well, I guess large for a compass, handheld sized compass made of brass. And it's fairly simple and not complicated. There's not a lot of design to it, but it's a simple brass compass. And she kind of pops up and doesn't even kind of poke her head up this time, just kind of splashes up into the air halfway and slides her butt right onto the edge. Had anybody been near there, they would have gotten splashed a little bit. And she's like, "Oh, sorry."
It's fine.
And she kind of looks around to who to hand the compass to.
I guess to Adelaide.
goes all
There
Hermione
was-
Granger and just
There was never any decision there. It was always going to be Adelaide.
Adelaide already had prepped her book and her pencil. Like she was all ready to take notes. She was just,
Okay.
and yeah, I would love to.
It's yours.
And we don't have to do it because we've already talked about it. But Adelaide would like to ritual cast identify.
So you get you get what it does on this plane and the idea that it has different powers on different planes. You're not sure if you could identify it on different planes or if you just won't know unless you try or what exactly. But for right now, you understand what it does on this plane. And you get one more thing that doesn't normally come from it. And as you're finishing up the ritual, that ability activates as well. Something that you weren't told about this device. Whoever, or as long as two different people are each holding it, they can communicate. Do you have this device yet? As you hear the voice of Robin.
Oh God. I mean,
Finally,
I said,
I'm
"Oh
doing
God,"
this every
out
5
loud.
minutes for the last 2 hours. What is taking so long?
Adelaide thinks into it, not out loud. We encountered some creatures we had to deal with.
There's no response.
She says out loud, we encountered some creatures we had to deal with. Robin, I apologize for the delay.
Yes, the Sahu again. Yes, I'm very aware. We've gotten some distress calls, if you can call them that. Some panicked people saying that they are being held captive. Your mission is changing. You're the only ones in the area, the only ones that can help. You need to rescue the gigantic.
Understood. Not unexpected. Is
I,
there...
of course, assume that you were not taken captive, as it seems to have happened after you left, is my understanding. Someone said about people jumping ship before it happened. They thought it was a conspiracy. That was not good. But besides that, I heard something about...
So wait, someone saw it?
Yes, somebody saw you. I had you all make stealth checks. Somebody saw you. One of you did not do too well. Maybe it was the belly flop. So you hear Robin again.
I actually yelled cannonball.
It's true.
I believe you did, yes.
Forgot about that.
So
As Robin continues, my understanding. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, I'm. From what we understand of the merfolk, I did expect you to have this a little sooner. They seem like their culture pays in advance for their services. So let's make sure that we still follow through on what they need, or we may have to return this to them. But for now, you can get a hold of me whenever you need me. And unfortunately, that means I'll hear
Great.
everything you say, and you're going to hear everything that I say.
is it only when I'm touching it?
Yes,
Or
thankfully, it's only when you're touching it. However, if I need to get a hold of you, I would expect that you are touching it often. All right?
sure. How big is the compass?
It's fist size. You have to hold it in your hand.
Oh, so it could fit in the book cut I made.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Okay. So he says, but I will check every 5, 10, or maybe 15 minutes. If I need you, I will be playing music while holding it. If you hear the music, just say something and I will hear you. It's very difficult to deal with this. I'm not looking forward to this, and please don't make any mistakes and say anything that you might regret. I don't want to have to write any reports.
Adelaide visibly rolls her eyes. Understood. We will comport ourselves with professionalism and do our very best to do everything we're supposed
I
to.
have no doubt that you would.
And
I have
nothing
no
we're not
doubt that you already had plans to rescue the Gigantic. I'm sure you've been working diligently on it up till now. As members of the Birchfield, it would be of course, part of our duty to help in any way possible.
Of course.
He does
Yep.
realize that there's only 5 of us, right?
You can't hear any of this.
They can hear you
Oh, sure.
because you're talking out loud.
Of course, Robin. Now if you don't mind it, I have to go. We were just about to have dinner. And she puts down the compass.
Okay. As soon as you put it down, you can hear him start to talk. It just cuts off.
She'll pick it up again to put
It sounds like he was just berating you for having dinner instead of working on a plan.
Remind me to tell you about wizards and long rests. And she will put it inside the book she cut out and put it in her book bag.
Okay. After a short while of you explaining to them and that happening, Merrick returns with and Ari spent some time with you guys learning about asking way far too many questions about the surface. And probably becoming annoying to at least some of you at some point. I didn't think Bonnie and her probably end up kind of swinging off to the corner. Well, she has to stay there, so in the center of the room.
Bonnie doesn't
meanwhile,
have to.
Bonnie's
Bonnie
like,
can
"No,
be like
you're-"
in the water.
Oh, that's true. You guys could just probably pop off down somewhere else and just talk for a bit.
Bonnie
and
just slips her arm and goes, "So tell me about your dad. What's he like?
Let's
What's
talk
his
about
deal?"
this.
Merrick, give me a Constitution check or save.
Oh my.
Please, another Merrick confession.
Drunk Merrick is my
Please.
favorite Merrick. I love drunk
Remember to
Merrick.
This is
hold
for all
it
the crap you gave
as long as
Adelaide
possible.
before about drinking, just so you know.
That's not a good face.
Indication.
It's an 8.
So you guys hear drunken singing
Neither of you know the
coming
same songs.
from the water. Merrick, what song or Kyle, what song is Merrick teaching
Reeve.
Mr. McManchest?
So there is a song that is sung in the round. Not in the round. It's 2 male choruses that are sung. It's a song about this suitor who is pursuing this wealthy nobleman's daughter, and he's commenting on how beautiful she is up at the top of the stairs, and the father is responding in the second verse, and then both of them sing simultaneously, and it ends up being a rather ribald annotation of the color of the woman's underwear, but with completely innocuous language in both verses. It's I'll have to see if I can find the name of the song.
I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Look, her
So
face
this
could
is a
launch
German trouble
1,000 ships.
style.
Look, her face could launch 1,000 ships.
Perfect. And so he's doing his best to keep up. He needs to pick these things up fairly quickly, and he's actually got a really good singing voice.
Please find Sir.
Probably please find Sir. Probably a baritone. So the two of you together, you're just belting out these songs. Both of you extremely drunk. He's carrying a bottle of wine that's closed. As the two of them are kind of returning, and every once in a while stopping, kind of leaning on each other or elbowing each other or something as you guys are swimming along. Not swimming very straight, either one of them. As they make it back to the hole, as they make it back to your home, passing Bonnie and Ari. Merrick, make me a perception check at disadvantage.
Well, that was a nat 20, so let's see. That was a 2. So let's see here. That's a total of 7.
So the two of you swim right past Ari and Bonnie and swim up into the hole they're like maybe 2 feet away. Swim right past them, right up into the hole. pop
hole?
up and the hole into the thing. And one of those air pocket bubbles pop up right as you guys are going up, and it kind of tickles, is weird, and it kind of goes up your shirt a little bit, and you climb up out. He kind of pops up on the edge. You start going over immediately and grabbing the cups that are there. You're like, you've got a plan. You're on a mission. He's like pulling the cork off as you both continue, and you're riffing off the last bit of the song you've been practicing for the last half hour. It's just bellowing it out in front of everyone.
Look up, her dress could launch 1,000 ships. Look up, her dress could launch 1,000 ships.
And that is where we're gonna.
Sounds good.
Does Ari say anything to Bonnie when they just go by, or are they just looking at each other like, "What the hell is?"
She just kind of laughs and says, "Oh, Dad's been into Wonder Kelp."
Cut. Smash cut credits.
And that's it. So that's the show. Thank you guys for being here. That's this show anyway. Appreciate it. Thank you, Zach Meow Meow.
And then Bonnie
We love
goes,
that fucking
"Oh,
name,
I
Zach."
found some coins."
Oh yeah, Bonnie
I
finds
did-
5 gold sitting on the ground.
Ooh, 5 gold! Yay!
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, Zach, very,
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody. Thank you for the subscriptions today, whoever our anonymous subscribers giveaways were.
Yeah.
And thank you to the new people who are here. Thank you guys for coming and enjoying our show with us. And this is one of our first shows on the Nerdsmith Network, and we're so glad we got to continue. It was originally a podcast, and we continued it. It was a little bit too much work to edit a podcast, so we made it a stream, and
It's
now
so
we turn the stream into a podcast,
wonderful
which
as
is
a
very weird.
stream.
It's so good as a stream. We love this show. This is absolutely one of our favorite shows, some of our favorite characters, some of our favorite moments. And I got another Disney princess in there, which I'm very happy about.
Yep.
And I already have two
Yeah.
more planned. So I'm very, very
excited.
excited about that. So so we are this was episode 2. I think there's 3, maybe 4 more episodes in this arc. These arcs are kind of pointed. There's not a lot I'm not trying to draw everything out. It's more of a, let's get to the fucking monkey, King Kong. Let's get to the fucking monkey. But thank you guys so much. So go to dieharddice.com, use the coupon code Goonies for 15% off. Go to visit World Anvil and learn all about their amazing products over there. What else do I need to say here? What else do I need to do? You can find me on this show. What else are we doing? Do I do anything else anymore?
What's
Crit-
our next?
Crit show.
Crit Show just joined the
no.
network. Check out the Crit Show and Ukador's channel over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Ukador. You can see them.
There's a
Is-
really
is
good
there a
chance that
link?
Crit Show has a brand new episode out.
Is there a
because they
link
come
for
out on Wednesdays.
Ukador?
Just twitch.tv/Ukador.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Shenanigoons. We love that
Oh my gosh.
subscribed.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you for renewing.
Thank you.
Hi, Gabby.
Gabby, you're amazing. We love
Gabby
you.
with an E. Gabby with an E.
You're awesome.
You're awesome. You subscribe. I didn't see. That's the problem. I don't know if we're synced up with the actual music.
Not really. I've tried.
Yeah.
I don't think we are.
Let's see here. And we're going to go say hi to somebody who rated us earlier, Scraticus. Scraticus is the hardest working person in streaming, as he does 15 shows or 18 shows a week, something like that. 3 shows a day, 6 days a week, I believe it is. Brings in community members constantly, creates one of the safest places on the internet for people to learn about and do role-playing, and we absolutely love them. They are just an incredible person, and the Scraticus Academy is an amazing place. A lot of the people coming into one of our bigger events later this year are from Scraticus, and they make us so happy. So we're gonna go ahead and raid them. So I'm gonna do that right now, and we got about 15 seconds.
I've
Anything else?
decreed it. Raid cheer is Wonder Kelp.
Wonder Kelp.
Yes.
Wonder Kelp is our raid cry as we go over there. Thank you guys.
Can
Really
that be
just
our
appreciate
WonderCon badge for
Yeah.
2020?
Wonder Kelp?
Kelp.
You're all amazing. Please come along with us, even if you can't stay, just to say hi. You scream out Wonder Kelp and make their night. The more people, the merrier. Actually, we have more people coming on our raid than we have viewers. I don't know how that's possible. So let's make it happen. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you
Good
over
night.
there. Bye.
Good night.
And I'm turning off the stream. Actually, turning it off right now.